Hello, welcome back to All For United WFC. Can you believe it? How many years have we been doing shows on this channel? We can sit here. Oh, yes, I've got the flag. I'm going to be waving that a lot because I'm still quite on cloud nine, as we probably all are, talking about this game. We've been doing shows for years, and we can finally sit on here and talk about a major trophy. Obviously, we got the championship back in 18-19, but the FA Cup, can we build? I mean, I've got literally, I said to the guys backstage, I've got no questions. I'm literally just going to. You'll see over the next kind of couple of hours, I think this is going to be a 2-hour show. So over the next kind of 3 half-an-hour splits, you'll see your favourite contributors that you'll have seen over the last kind of 12 months. They're all coming on. And then the last half an hour, we're literally going to whack the link in the chat. So any of you that are watching that want to hop on here for 5-10 minutes, you don't need a camera. We just need to hear you. Hop on, come and tell us how you're feeling, because we want to hear from absolutely everyone today. Because yesterday definitely was well, for me, I can't speak for everyone, but I'm pretty sure this is probably the best day to be a United fan. It was yesterday, certainly for me. Who wants to start off? Just how you're feeling? Like, is anyone going to match my energy today? Because I'm like overtired now, so I'm kind of a bit like, you know, trying to keep myself awake as well as everything else. So I'm kind of waiting for someone to hop in and take over from me. Jess is going to go for it.
I am, I think, at this point, just sort of delirious. I've done a full day's work and I don't really know how I did it. I don't know how I got there. I don't know what I've done today. At a few points in the day, I was sort of just on the phone to people and I'm like, these people understand that United won the FA Cup yesterday. I'm like, why are they ringing me? Like, why does anyone want to talk to me today? My throat is in absolute bits because I was screaming like an absolute menace, which I'm sure Connor will attest to because it was probably down his ear hole for most of the game. Yeah, it was just absolutely fantastic. I am basically a walking corpse today, but I would do it all over again in an absolute heartbeat. It was fantastic, literally like the best day ever. I am so unbelievably happy.
I mean, Barry, just over to you, because I think there's so many comments already, so I've lost it already. Oh no, there it is. RC's comment. Can you come to Wembley every time? Because I think we said this, didn't we? This is the first time, for people who don't know, that everyone from All For United WFC has been at the same game. You know, we've been at games separately, and you know, there's always been somebody who's missed it. This was the first time we've literally all from a core team contributor point, we've all been there. So I mean, Barry, obviously you were with us for majority of the day. I started off the day seeing me and you walking up the steps to the green zone. And I mean, yeah, was it everything you expected or wanted the day to be?
Well, yes. I mean, I suggested 3-0 right at the start, and it was quite interesting. We ran into Alex, who we did the preview with, and he said to me, I thought you were taking the mickey, and I thought you were having a giggle. And at 3-0, I just went, he's bloody right. I'm like, it's what I do. I can't help it. It's just, I'm lucky more than anything else. I'm just lucky because, well, I do the prediction league. I'm pants, but as apparently I can just come on here and be pretty confident with what we're doing. Do you know what? That was the most wonderful thing because we've had it. The game at Arsenal last season where we came back and won 3-2. You weren't there, Connor. And, you know, the Brighton game, Jess wasn't there. And then the Chelsea game, I wasn't there. And this was it. Like you say, this was the one. And it has taken such a long time and such a long road for all of us at AFU to be together for that. And there's going to be about 5 million different memories that stick in my mind. I've been replaying most of them during the day. But genuinely, I think that the big one for me was coming back up those steps again to see you guys and to just get into one great big group hug and saving Charlie's life, which I'm sure we'll get to a little bit later on. It genuinely did happen. There'd be no Charlie tonight if I hadn't got the chair next to her. But we'll get to that when Charlie gets here, I think. But honestly, I've been slobbered on, as John Devonport's already mentioned. That was amazing. Obviously, we saw Mike Lyle as well. Everything beforehand, seeing some of you guys in the chat that came in, it was just honestly the most amazing experience that we could have ever asked for, and one that I think has been deserved for the whole fan base, really, because we have waited and we have, you look at the support, the way that this club has been supported since 2018 with the original fans that all turned up and did what they did and how that's continued. It's been very well supported and it's just grown. And Puzzling Time, excellent to meet you as well during the fan zone. So, mate, I absolutely adored every single second of yesterday.
It was so, and just while you brought up, obviously you just referenced it there. Honestly, something that this is obviously away from it. This is more of a personal thing, I guess, from the channel. But the amount of you that came up to either myself or Barry yesterday actually blew my mind. Whether that was in Box Park, I saw so many of you on Wembley Way. So obviously so many of you in the ground in the concourse. It actually. I think I said to Barry at one point, I was like, I can't believe this. So honestly, love every single one of you. There was so many nice interactions yesterday, which just made the day, I think, even more special than it was obviously with the win and things like that. And yes, when Charlie gets here, we need to get into that Charlie story that Barry was just referencing there because she's all right.
And this, I've been waiting for how long to finally get a little cuddle off of Sean. Oh, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. That was the best hug of the day. That was.
Oh, yeah, Rosa. I feel like I saw. Honestly, I've never hugged as many people as I did yesterday. It was. I think Andrew Wall was the first person at full time, so that got a hug of me when that whistle went. Wayne, yes, if you do see us about, like I said, please do. Like I said, so many people. Somebody came up to me though at I think it was close to getting kicking out of Box Park when we had a bit more to drink, which was an interesting conversation. But I did say, so this is not the professional Connor that you might see on stream. This is more of a sliding around the dance floor doing whatever I was doing. So, apologies to whoever that was. Cerys, come on, how are you feeling on that one? Obviously, I saw you post game. We were kind of singing our way out of Wembley. I mean, yeah, just talk to us about your day, really, and how you felt.
Yeah, I mean, it was just absolutely phenomenal. I've never felt, I don't think, I've never felt as much joy from a football game. And I've been to, bear in mind, I went to the World Cup in the summer. So I saw England beat Australia to go to a World Cup final. That was pretty special. I've seen the men in a couple of finals, obviously not particularly recently. But, I have never, ever felt as much joy from a match as I did yesterday. I think the last sort of however long it's been now, 5-6 years, it feels like it has all been building to this moment, and to see how much it meant to the players and how much it meant to the fans. I mean, the atmosphere in the United end yesterday was just absolutely unbelievable. The passion and the kind of sheer pride that I think was radiating out of everyone in that United end was so infectious and was so incredible to be in. When Tooney scored that goal, I absolutely lost my mind. I saw Mia in the queue for the toilets at half time and I was like, I can't speak. She's like, neither can I. Concourse was bouncing at half time. Yeah, I mean, it was just the celebrations afterwards, incredible. And also, as you've all been saying, to get to actually meet everyone. I've met Connor and Barry, and I think Jess I've met. Yeah, definitely Jess. I have met everyone individually before, but to meet up with everyone and get a group photo and be able to celebrate briefly together afterwards and sit there and just talk between us about how we're feeling about the game beforehand. We're used to doing it like this, but to actually stand there in the fan zone and chat about it was amazing as well. So yeah, it was one of probably, I would say, my best day ever as a football fan. Yeah, it was just absolutely electric.
Yes, Mike, honestly, I didn't film a lot throughout the game, and I just happened to be filming at that moment. And that high pitch, oh my God, is me that you could hear, by the way, on the video, just putting that out there, I'll expose myself. And then you can see Rob and Jess jump on me, which is why the camera then all of a sudden goes to the floor. But honestly, you watch the angle, any angle of that goal is incredible, right? But from behind, I love watching long. I said this on the show a few weeks ago with the Tooney one. When you're behind the flight of the ball, I'm sure we'll talk about this Tooney goal for the whole 2 hours that we're live on here, but yeah, that was incredible. And you referenced obviously the concourse at half time. I've never seen you think we'd won the cup there and then. Like everyone at half time was just bounced. Like obviously Tunis chant was going off, and it just that to me was the I felt at that point we're not going to lose from here. Like we just can't. Like having that moment at half time, it was
I think the momentum for I said to my dad, like last year when we conceded against Chelsea, don't get me wrong, like we still put a great effort in afterwards, but it felt like the girls were sort of like, yeah, like we gave it a good go, but maybe it's not our year. And I felt like the fight went out of Spurs a little bit like that as well when they saw that goal go in, and like it knocked the absolute like life out of the Spurs end as well. So I think that just absolutely it killed, like it gave us so much momentum going into the second half. Like that moment of kind of quality, I think was exactly what we needed to just stamp our mark on the game. And from that moment, I completely agree. I don't think I've had a lot of times where we've been 1-0 up this year and I've been like, oh God, I could do with another to like settle my nerves here. But I didn't really have a doubt from the second that goal went in. It was amazing.
No, for sure. Mark's talking about their best atmosphere. Yeah, the second and third, we knew at that point, and we were not going to give up that lead from that point of view. I mean, Jess, what do you make? There's so many people just talking about the atmosphere. I don't know what to even ask you because we've got 4 goals to go through. I don't really want to go through every single one because we've only got half an hour per split, and I don't want to go through the same questions on every single person. However, have you kind of got obviously the Tooney goal is the standout, right? That's the one, obviously, that everyone's talking about and everything else. I'm just going to ask each of you in terms of like, do you have a standout moment, from the game, from the day, that you experienced? That could be an interaction you had. That could be, our fake trophy lifted in Box Park. For those of you who saw that right in front of the Spurs lot that were in their private bar, that was quite something. There was a video of that. I might stick that on TikTok actually. Jess, have you got any kind of major standout for you that like really kind of like, I guess, hit you in the feels from yesterday?
Yeah, well, there's obviously many. However, I will just bring a comment up that I saw before, if I can get it to work. I think this might have been me and Mia.
It wasn't me. I'm throwing these two right under the bus. I was not associated with this.
I wasn't sat with these. I was also like, I was sort of behind and to the right of you, and I was like, that's like where Connor and Mia and everyone is. What the hell are they doing?
Yeah, so I will explain what happened.
What's going on?
Basically, at full time, and I'm going to blame Mia, obviously, because she's not here to defend herself. But essentially, the two of us decided that we were going to get on the chairs. And we were up there for quite a while. And in fact, actually, we've been up there for so long that we then stood back down and we're back just like bopping around on, the level ground. And then we decided that no, that was not enough. So we got back on the chairs. But at this point, the crowd was starting to thin a bit. And that's when the stewards came and told us off. So to be honest, that was a high point. But for the most part, it was just... I
think Mia was just trying to get as high as possible. She was going for the railing at one point.
If I stood on the ground, like she's already like a good foot above me, I swear to God. So if I'm stood on the ground and she's like, got no chance, so I had to climb up next to her. And we were both like a little bit, giddy. On a couple of occasions, I thought she was going to fall. So I'm like sort of there ready to catch her. But no, to be honest, obviously it was a fantastic day, fantastic atmosphere, fantastic game. Like it could not have been more perfect. And I think I said this to you earlier, Connor, like going into that second half, we scored a couple of goals sort of early on. Going into that second half, just feeling like pretty confident that like we were actually going to win. It was quite nice to have like a more relaxed, I don't want to say relaxing because it's never quite relaxing, but just a more comfortable second half almost. And just seeing everyone was amazing. Like there's so many people that I have met now through this channel and through football, and seeing everyone together in one place was just insane. To be honest, my social battery for the entire year is gone now. So don't expect anything from me now. We've got to wait until 2029 because that's my quota hit.
You're not wrong there. I think, like you said, I think we've met so many people. Yeah, it was. I mean, I think I started this earlier on. James, yes, you did. Obviously, it was great to meet you as well for the first time. And yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? You get to a point like that where you just hug anyone and everyone. You know, you just got anyway. I was just grabbing anyone that was near me. Like some people I didn't even know. You just grab hold of
That's
them.
the real reason. Crikey, people do get a bit worried about that.
That's an interesting stat, actually. I didn't actually know that. But thinking back, yeah, I don't remember. They had that one towards the end, didn't they? That
Well,
one
there is one.
Right?
They could have one in the end.
That was fair. I mean, I know it won't count as an on-target shot because it was the crossbar, but that was the best chance they had all game. I mean, I don't think it would have dampened the mood any, but it was certainly nice finishing on a clean sheet. And I think, you know, defensively, the back line and Mary deserves that clean sheet.
But before I come to Barry and Cerys for your kind of, I guess, standout of the day, can I just while we're briefly talking about Spurs, because I don't think we're going to give Spurs any credit throughout this, can I just say that those lot, Beth England in particular, absolute legends, by the way. God knows why, but they were out with us. For those of you who were in Box Park, and a few of you were, they decided to stay with. They kind of hired out the private bar, but a lot of them did actually come down when it quietened out in Box Park. A lot of them did come down. Beth England in particular was very party heavy with us down on the floor. So fair play to them because they were really good sports. And you know, a few of the coaches did come over and say a few things, and you know, we're talking about. Various things. Fair play to them, man, because they were absolutely brilliant. Barry, go on. What was your, I guess, standout of the day? What was your moment that really kind of hit you?
Well, this is my standout of today. That's been put as a quote, and I just feel like that should be immortalised forever.
That's me cancelled.
That's your statue quote right there. I was just grabbing anyone near me.
I was right next to him as well, so you know I can confirm. There was lots of grabbing of everything. I'm kidding. I'm actually going to go.
I had a few. I think one of the highlights for me was when we were stood outside Wembley waiting for Jess, having left the fan zone, only to get a phone call from Jess that we'd somehow managed to miss her walking past us because she's now in the fan zone. So we had to wait for her to come out of the fan zone. I feel like it's a fan zone far too many times in the last 5 seconds there, but that was quite a moment. I had to wait for her to power walk back to us. But within the game, there were 3 things that really stood out that were big moments that I was thinking about on the drive to work this morning. The first was, I'm not sure what Spurs were trying to do. I mean, the more I think about it, the more I realise that I think the occasion just ended up being a bit too big for them because they were too scared. And I remember turning to Charlie, who I think is going to be on shortly, and we said, why aren't they pressing? Like, our defenders have got an absolute mistake in them. We know that it's possible because we've seen these ridiculous little passes across the defence go wrong many times this season. But they were just letting the ball come to the defence, and they were standing off them. They weren't giving them any trouble whatsoever. And the one time they did, they were causing us that little bit of trouble right at the end of the half, and that could have gone wrong for us. You know, that passing at the back, and then obviously that was what led to Tooney's goal when Hannah Blundell stepped up, put on her big girl pants, passed the ball to Lisa Nelson, who gave it to Tooney, and the rest is history. But that's the first one. Like, the fact they chose not to press us just absolutely blew my mind. They stayed way too far off our defence, and as a result, I think that's cost them the game. The second big one that sticks out for me is the Rachel Williams goal, because that was the point when I knew we were going to win. I think the minute that went in, straight in, you know, what was it, 6 or 7 minutes after the start of the second half, I knew at that point that was going in, and that we were going to win. And the last one, I do feel very, very sorry for the Spurs goalkeeper. Like, really, the more I watch that, she is probably waking up in the middle of the night, just possibly not even getting to sleep, thinking about that third goal. And it was horrific. Like, I would not wish that on anybody. On what should be the best day of your life, for that to happen, I thought was quite sad. Don't get me wrong, I cheered like I couldn't care less at the time, but having thought about it and having a little bit of reflection, I do feel a little bit sorry for her there. So those are the big ones, I think, for me. But the biggest moment is always going to be seeing the best midfielder in the world, Katie Zellum, lift up a trophy with Manchester United, and that is forever going to be a massive plus for me.
Yeah, no, fair points on that one. Cerys, I'll come to you then. What was your standout of the game? Or like I say, could be during the game, could be after the game, could be before the game. What was have you got a big moment that stands out for you from yesterday?
I think I'm not going to pick one, sorry. The concourse at half time was absolutely insane. Like, the atmosphere was unlike anything I have, like, let alone at a women's game, at a football game, full stop. I've never experienced that sort of atmosphere at half time. I thought it was absolutely insane. Standout moments during the game, the obvious one is Tooney's goal. I think one for me actually was when Riviere and Garcia were walking back along the back of the goal in front of the United fans after they were being subbed off, and when they were like G'ing the crowd up. That was like absolutely insane. And I just, that was fantastic. So even while they were doing that, I was watching them walk around the back of the goal. And even as they were doing that, we were getting chances on goal on the pitch. And that was when I was like, Jesus, like, we are proper, like, running away with this game. There was so many standout moments for me. The trophy lift, I think Mallard in front of the crowd was absolutely amazing. Her, like, trophy lift, little double, like, run back and do it again. And also, like, a personal one for me was being at the game with my parents as well. So, like, I've been in football since I was like 6, and my family's always been United. I didn't have a United women's team to support until I was, however old I was, like 15 or whatever. So to then see that trophy lift with my parents who supported me in football, and it felt like a moment like that we had all been waiting for so long, that got me a little bit. But yeah, the whole day was absolutely incredible. It's impossible to pick a standout moment. There was so many that I thought I was going to be crying more than I was, to be fair. I did cry at full time. But yeah, it was just absolutely brilliant. It was such a, like, football wise, it was an incredible day. Atmosphere wise, it was unbelievable. And, like, emotionally, I was an absolute wreck as well. So yeah.
I think we've got through quite a lot of key moments. I'm going to ask everyone this question as we go on throughout the show in terms of what their standouts were, because I'm intrigued to see how it varies, whether that's a goal or a moment. Like, could be pre-game, could be post-game. I'm sure people have got their own things on that one. There's a lot of comments. I was talking about various goals. Just very quickly, we're having a bit of a debate who to put on our player of the match poll for today. So if you guys can just let us know who you would go for, and because I think we've got 2 or 3 pretty nailed down, but we're torn on a 4th. And as you know, on this channel, we do like to keep it consistent. So we want to try and make sure that we've got 4 names on the poll for the week again. So if you can let us know who you would put on it, so in about 5 minutes' time, I can put that in the chat, and then everyone can vote on it then, on that one. There's a comment to start. I'm sure we're going to come back to that as well. I don't really know what else to ask. I mean, Jess, from the goals point of view, were you surprised? I guess the kind of last question I'll obviously ask you before we rotate the guests around. Were you surprised a little bit in how, I say easy it was, but like 4-0. I think they said on commentary afterwards, I watched a bit of it back, saying that was the biggest FA Cup final win. Well, it's the biggest at Wembley. It's the biggest since 2007, I think they said, or 2006. So that shows how easy it was. The fact that 4-0 went. Did you expect it to be that? Because obviously we were all outside the ground. We were a bit nervous and things like that, which you're always going to be before a final. But did you think it was going to go that way?
So I had said a couple of times, and I don't really know how serious I was being, but I was like, do you know what? I do think that and I said this before the game, that there was like the potential for us to kind of run away with it a little bit. I think just because of our experience and from the fact that when we do turn up, we turn up. Our form in games has been very, very up and down. But from our win against Chelsea, I mean, you can see that we have it in us to be an absolutely fantastic team that are really, really hard to beat. I think it's quite funny, really, because that Tooney goal really turned around probably the attitude of the first half, like more than you could even kind of imagine. I think before that goal, there was a bit of frustration because we'd been attacking and we'd kind of been all over them, but there hadn't particularly been that many clear-cut chances other than from sort of set pieces. So pretty much every single corner had gone straight onto Rachel Williams's head, and we'd had like a really good chance. But otherwise, we were still sort of playing a little bit more negatively at times. And I think as fans, we were getting like a little bit sort of like stressed about that. Until, of course, Tooney takes things into her own hands and scores an absolute worldie. You know, not only did we bag a goal before half-time, which is one of the best times to score, really, but I think just the manner of which the goal was scored, I think, well, we've already covered it. It boosted the whole team. I think it boosted the fans and it boosted the squad. And they basically took it from there. So I was maybe a little bit surprised based on that kind of, I mean, overall, the first 45 minutes there wasn't anything particularly clear cut until those last sort of few seconds. So for me, I was a little bit surprised that we maybe, because of the result overall, I'm surprised we didn't really show more early in the game. But maybe we were just sussing out the Spurs system, playing ourselves into it. I mean, we were in control. I just want to say, like, from the exact start, we were in control of the game. I don't think Spurs really had too much of a sniff. So I think whatever they did, the system, it worked really well. And I do think that in the end, our experience and the experience of some of our players probably just sort of shone out, and also the quality on the bench. I think whereas Spurs were maybe making some sort of questionable subs, if you look at the subs we made, we were just bringing on sort of like stronger and stronger players almost. So just fantastic. And I feel like I could just talk about it forever. I don't know how many times I've watched that Ella Toon goal. At one point today in the office, I was sort of like flicking through on my phone, watching it, and then like go on my laptop and like watch it on my laptop. Ridiculous, insane. I would just like to talk about that goal until the end of time, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I think I wasn't expecting 4-0. I can't remember what I said when we was on the radio last week. I think I said 3-1 to United. I was quietly like confident. I was expecting us to win it. And then the first half, I think there was some frustration in the fans. Like Jess said, like the goal definitely changed the mood, because there were a lot of people being like, "Can someone shoot?" Like it felt a bit frustrating that we weren't being as direct as we could have been. But it was like, yeah, the frustration was kind of building. And then I think from when that first goal went in and I saw the kind of body language of the Spurs players, that was when I was kind of like, oh, okay, we could score quite a few here. Because like I said, like it felt like their heads went down, and it felt like I think they should have given themselves more credit, to be honest, because however many weeks ago we were 2-0 up and then they managed to come back and draw 2-2 with us. So why their heads went down like that, I actually don't know. But from that moment that we scored the first goal, I was like, yeah, we could run away with this. And to see Garcia get a brace, fantastic. Like Barry said, really feel for Becky Spencer. And to be fair, I thought Wilhelm was a class act after the game as well. Like he was asked about that mistake and he said, I asked her to play out from the back. So I can't criticize her for a mistake, which is a risk that you take when you ask a keeper to play out from the back. I thought that was very classy of him. But yeah, I thought fantastic goals. Like we could have had 5, we could have had 6. It wasn't what I was expecting ahead of the game, but to win it so like comfortably was so satisfying for the fans, just to, I think, show our quality in that way. It feels like that's something we haven't necessarily done in most games this season, is just go out there and show just how good we are. So to do that yesterday was fantastic.
No, you make some fair points, both of you, on that one. Right, before we let you both go, I've got to ask you, who was your player of the match? Obviously, the poll's going to keep running for those of you in the chat. That's going to run until the end of the show. But Jess, Cerys, who would you have gone for?
I've just frozen.
You sound like you're singing now.
No, not again. My voice.
Went through a different vocal range.
My throat is absolutely killing me. I'm trying to sip this brew because like I'm actually in pain talking. It's difficult because I really want to say Tooney because I love her. And I'm glad that I was wearing her shirt yesterday and she bagged an absolute worldie. But I'm going to say Garcia because I think that her energy was just unbelievable. She bagged two goals in an FA Cup final at Wembley. Like, what more do you want? And I think overall as well this season, she's been one of our standout players. So I'm just thinking, Garcia, and also if I say Garcia, maybe it'll manifest something. She'll sign like a 10-year contract with us or something. Maybe.
Yeah, no, I find that hard to argue with. I think, in fairness, it's really close for me because, as a lot of people have said, there's several players it could go to. I would happily give it to any of those four that we've got in the poll in particular. But I think Garcia was just absolutely phenomenal. Like, her, as Jess said, like, her running and her energy was just fantastic, especially after seeing her. I thought she put in like a lot of effort against Liverpool last weekend and it just didn't fall for her and something just wasn't quite clicking. So to see her go out and like play her best football yesterday was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, Dave's right. I got a sore throat. That was why my voice just absolutely went then. But yeah, no, that was, I think Garcia for me was put in an absolute like world-class performance.
No, that's fair enough on those ones. Right. Well, thanks both for coming on. Go and enjoy it, whatever you're doing the rest of the evening. I'm assuming resting, particularly from your point of view, Jess. You probably do need a rest. You had a long old day yesterday.
I've got an essay to write, Connor, so that's a really horrible thing to say.
I do apologise. I hope you managed to meet the deadline on that one because I know that is literally tomorrow. So fingers crossed you managed to get that one sorted. But I'm sure you'll see more of Jess and Cerys as the weeks, 1 more game week to go. So I'm sure you'll see these two over the next kind of week or so as we get towards Chelsea. Right, it's been a long time since we've done this. We're going to rotate guests. It's been a while, Barry.
Hi, ladies.
Since we've done something like this. We're going to bring in someone we haven't seen for a while. Someone we've seen pretty recently. And look who's managed to show up.
Yeah.
It's my front row friends.
I mean, calling us friends right now is probably the closest we've been. I've never known so much hugging yesterday.
Are you going to blame me for that?
No, not at all. I couldn't care less. I would have hugged anyone yesterday, I think.
We did. He'll hug everyone, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
I got one off Marc. I was quite happy with that.
Yeah, just to make sure you're going to go through.
That's because he knows what we're going to do next weekend, though. That's the difference. So it's probably more a sympathy hug, Connor.
Well, I'll take that, to be fair. But, so before we move on, I'm going to ask you guys kind of how you feel in your moments and things like that. Charlie, now you're here. I imagine that the viewers have been waiting. There's so many of you watching, by the way. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. But Barry and Charlie, explain the little incident where you saved Charlie's life that you said earlier in the show.
Explain this. I feel like Charlie is probably best to explain this one as to quite how it is that she still came to be alive.
And do you know what? If it had gone wrong, I would only have myself to blame. Was it the second goal or the third? Was it the second?
I believe it was the second.
When you climbed onto the barriers, Charlie, and nearly fell.
Yeah, when Rachel Williams scored, everyone knows I love Rachel Williams, right? Her scoring the second goal to win it for us, really, in the final. What a dream for me and her. And I tried to lift myself onto the railing. And then I couldn't because I'm too short. So I pulled the chair down and Barry went, "Don't you dare." So he did he did try and stop me. But then I did get up. I was up on that railing, front row of standing, and I nearly fell forward.
You think this through? Because we all know she's a fan of the Titanic.
Yeah.
That was a bit of My Heart Will Go On.
Yeah,
just imagine that Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet didn't just lean nicely out of it. Imagine they looked like they were about to go off the edge.
No, it wasn't that smooth, was it? Barry had to grab me.
Tom Daly.
Barry had to grab me and pull me backwards because when I was up there, I was like, "Oh, this is quite high. It's actually quite high. There's a considerable drop down below." Barry saved me, and then I just had a quick cheeky look at the steward. He was good. He was good, to be fair, the steward, and he just went, "Don't do that again. Don't do that again." I was like, "Okay, sorry."
What was interesting about that steward was he had no idea what was going on in the game because he doesn't watch football. He only watches rugby. So when we stopped for the water break, he goes, "Why have you stopped? Does this always happen?" And we were like, "No, weather too hot to play."
She sounds thrilling. Doesn't watch football. What's wrong with him?
He watches rugby. It's a sport.
I've just seen JJ come in, and I'm not going to put it up there
say.
because it's going to make Charlie seem like an absolute nightmare yesterday. But I also had to protect the door so that she could get out of the toilet. It was honestly yesterday.
Right.
I thought I was Charlie's carer.
Right.
That's
No,
what
we've got
I
to put it in perspective, right? So it was going to kick off, wasn't it? It was not long until it was going to the pre-show was going to start to happen. Great fireworks. Glad we didn't miss it.
Yes.
The queue outside the women's toilet was like it was ludicrous.
Ludicrous, very good.
There was a disabled toilet, so I used it, but I didn't trust that it wasn't an automatic locking one, so I was a bit scared.
Can I say this is one of the very few times I've been to a football game where I don't have to queue for a toilet. There was no queue for the men's. The women's queue was miles. I could walk into the men's. I could have gone into the men's, Charlie. It was empty.
Charlie, did you use the disabled one in anticipation of you falling off the railing, or
you get myself familiar with my surroundings?
I can't say that.
Oh dear. That's not how I thought this section would start, but there we are. We do it all on this channel as people.
Enough of this toilet talk.
Right, go on. I'll ask each of you then, because obviously you've not had your say on it so far. I'll just ask you straight away in terms of your moment of the day. Let's go with that first, because I'm intrigued to see what everyone's is, whether it's different to anyone else's. So, Shane, considering you've not been on for probably over a year, I'll ask you in terms of what was your standout moment? That could be pre-game, on the pitch, after the game.
I think 100% it was Tooney's goal. I think the timing of it, because I was quite prepared for it to be 0-0 at that point, and I really wanted us to go in with like a 2-0 lead or something like that. So scoring that goal and the way she did it, as soon as it left her foot, it was like, no, this is going in. So when it went in, the place just erupted, and I think because it was so close to half time, that feeling and all the emotion came out of everyone. It carried on into the concourse, as we know. It was just a defining moment. I think it set us up for the second half nicely, as long as we got some early goals, which we did. The second half kind of went pretty perfectly, really. I think Tooney's goal set up the rest of the game. It was amazing. And then second to that, it's lifting the trophy. I don't think I've seen it twice now for this team, and this is the first major trophy, but I will never get tired of seeing that team lift a trophy. I don't even care what trophy it is ever, but lifting a trophy with your club is just brilliant.
And you reference it there, so Marc, I'll come over to you. Obviously, you followed the team since the beginning. Right at the start when the team was kind of reformed, and Shane just referenced obviously winning the championship. I guess a kind of follow-up question to your standout moment: how does it compare, to the championship to this one? Because both are history. The first trophy, first major trophy, first FA Cup. How do they compare? And also, what was your standout from yesterday?
So, winning the championship was great. The way we did it, but also I think you've got to look back at it and say we were a professional team playing in a part-time league. We should have won that league comfortably, and we did. But it was nice to see them lift the trophy the way we did. We went the season through the championship season. We didn't lose a game in the championship season except in the cups. So that was great. Look, yesterday winning a trophy at Wembley in front of 76,000 fans was amazing. I agree with Shane. I won't get sick of looking at these pictures. In fact, we got home last night at 11:30. I watched the game back in full when I walked in the door. I woke up this morning while I was having my breakfast. Guess what? I watched the highlights. Went to work, lunch. What did I watch? The goals. I've come here, talked about this. What am I going to do when we finish? I'm going to watch the game again because I won't get sick of watching it, because I can never say, none of us could say we were ever there at the first time the men won the FA Cup, but we can all say we were there the first time the women won the FA Cup. And I'll never get sick of saying that. So my standout moment is all of it. There's not a bit of it I would change, from waking up at 4:30 yesterday morning to get on a coach to leave at 7, to arriving in London to buy pints for the people I call my friends, and realising I'm never buying them a pint again at Wembley because, let's face it, I'm not made of money. The hugs before the game, the hugs during the game, everything, the whole thing. I wouldn't change any of it. The tears, the laughter, everything, none of it. Not changing a bit of it.
No, certainly. I do apologize for anyone. Just like I said before at the start of the show, I'm really like overtired. Right, I got back to the hotel at like I don't know what past 1. Didn't sleep till like 3:30, and I was up at 7. And I just decided I'm going to stay awake, and then drove back early this morning. So I am shattered. So I'm a bit delirious. Hence the little. If you would have seen that a second ago. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know how I'm going to make through 2 hours of this, but there we go.
Just pretend you're on TikTok, and it'll go by like that.
To be fair, yeah, if I've done 2.5 hour ones on there, so I'm sure I can make it through this. And I'm actually talking to other people as well, so this is
going to get a new trend going. The Connor dance.
Oh, there's no, I don't even. I'm not going to share it. I think I might have done on something, but there's a.
Will it be a new account? The Dancing Quiff.
There's a song in there. You are the dancing queen.
For people who were in Box Park yesterday, you would have seen my like horrendous. I'm just gonna call it moving. I'm not going to call it dancing. I'm just going to call it moving around a floor where other people are dancing. I think is more what it was. But you know, there's some banging tunes in there. I tell you, like I said, it was a good place to be.
Did they play any
Plenty of Queen?
Not a single Queen. So loads of people were asking about this actually, in terms of where was the video of Queen at full time. They didn't play it. I didn't back out of a bet. They genuinely did not play it. So I can't be held accountable for that.
Technically, that's not true, Connor, because if you remember, there was a certain FaceTime call made on the phone.
Hang on, I genuinely couldn't hear you. Barry will back me up. We could not hear a word of what you were saying. Do you remember this, Barry, when I had Marc on FaceTime in front of you? And we were like...
Oh, yeah, we could not... That was...
I could not hear a word of what you were saying.
I was looking at what you... That's why I was just waving at you. I'm going, bye.
We were singing We Are the Champions on the coach on the way home. So that's why.
We were kind of singing to whatever was playing at the time.
That was the second time you did that to me. You turned around to the deaf bloke and went, any danger, you could let us know what's going on. And no, not really. There's a lot of noise down over there, and you want me to be your ears. I mean, you've got to walk this through.
Don't blame me. Blame Andrew Wall and his technology.
I think it was more about. I think the signal in Box Park was horrendous, to be fair. But I'm glad somebody did. Polly, you were on form yesterday. I wish people. There's not going to be videos of it, but honestly, you and Mia absolutely killed it last night. And Brooke as well, if she's watching.
I wonder if I can speak to Box Park and get like the security video footage of it all.
People did actually. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this. I really hope they're not watching because I don't even know if they were United fans or not. There were people that were getting kicked out for dancing on the tables, which was quite entertaining. It was entertaining to watch. I'm sure it wasn't entertaining for them.
You sure you're in Box Park and not a strip club, Connor?
No, I read about this earlier though. Someone said
that
took 6 stewards.
Yeah, I've got a video of it. They're like, I'll send it to you after. They proper dragged her off the table and like then she wouldn't leave. So it was quite bad. But yeah, there we are. Charlie, what was your standout from yesterday? I'm sure you've got a few. You spent most of the game looking at us, so I'm not sure how much of the game you saw, to be honest.
Yeah, I spent a lot of the game just turning around looking at other people like I couldn't cope at all. I was. Obviously, Tooney's goal, which I half missed, which I'm really sorry about. I went to the loo. And then I was halfway down the concourse and she scored. But that was a brilliant half time. Absolutely buzzing for that. Some of my favourite things were obviously the trophy lift, and that was amazing and being with everyone. But little moments that stand out are when Jade and Lucia got subbed and they walked in front of the United fans. They were proper like hyping it up and going nuts and really, really whipping everyone up, which I enjoyed. Loved the surfer flag. Always loved that. That made me tearful last time, and it did again this time. It's just incredible to see. And in the 2 weeks building up to this game, my little girl Evie's been in the garden practicing like that with the trophy, lifting it up. So it was really nice to get to see Katie Zellum do that, because she's been colossal all season. but Evie has been beside herself about that ever since. So in hindsight, probably that moment. But the whole thing was just unreal. Like at half time in the concourse, it was just, you could feel it. Like everyone was like, we're going to win now. That's it. Like we're going to win. And I can't get over, I think me and Deb were saying, I can't get over how comfortable it was because I'd prepared myself that this was going to be so stressful. I thought we might nick it 2-1 in extra time. But it was absolutely phenomenal. Every single player was almost perfect, I would say. Just amazing. Every moment. But specifically the different one is Lucia and Jade hyping the crowd up when they'd been subbed off. And when Tooney walked around as well. That was incredible. And also, you know, I was going to say, if any of you watched it back on telly, we've all watched it back on telly 10 times. But when the referee blows the whistle for full time, it's so loud. It's so loud. You can't actually hear it. You can't hear her blowing the whistle because the atmosphere is just incredible.
You only knew because all the players started running on the pitch.
Yeah, that was fun because the noise level was insane, I thought. And what incredible performance from the United fans. I thought they were amazing throughout. Really, really good. Just loved every single second of it. Every single second.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, well, you can hear it on every video that people took at full time. It's from the United. It's incredible.
We asked Deb what we think her standout moments were.
I was coming to that.
7 minutes and then I'm going. See if you can talk until I leave again.
Can I just say something very quickly? On every video I took yesterday, I've got Charlie going, El Capitano, El Capitano, El Capitano.
I remember somebody saying, inject it into my eyeballs.
Yeah. was that
Is that even a phrase? Oh, apparently it is now. Not the weirdest thing you said yesterday. Everybody. I was glad, and I'm just going to pick up on what somebody said there about what you said about the crowd noise. And it was a real source of issue in terms of music. And I'm not going to labour the point and go too deep into it, but I really, really love the fact that the United fans made noise both at the goals and at full time, as we knew they would, because you didn't need a gimmick to show how much it meant to everybody. You didn't need a song for us all to sing and dance to. You just needed fans who really, really got behind their team and supported them. And that, for me, is football. I know other people say things differently, but just an incredible occasion yesterday. And yeah, it's all right, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all right, wasn't it?
All right, yeah. I think it was odd because I know I did. I had the joy of having Marc next to me. Charlie's on the other side of me. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, but I think I said to you, Charlie, with like 20 minutes to go, I said, you know what? For all this season's been, enjoy this, because for every bad thing that the season's been about, this is the most stress-free part of the season. When you think we started the season with that late win at Villa. I mean, that was stressful. It was brilliant, but we thought, oh, that's going to be it, the season. Yeah, we're going to be brilliant. We're going to be amazing. And it's not. So to have something that was so certain and be able to have a fair chunk of time to just enjoy it and soak it up, it was brilliant. It was great. I wouldn't have minded had it absolutely chucked it down with rain either. Nothing was going to spoil yesterday for us.
That was back at Old Trafford.
Yeah. And we drove through it. It was great. I got home and everyone was like, oh, did you come through the rain and the thunder? Nope. Nope. We were just behind it.
I can't lie to you. I wish it did rain a little bit. Someone references earlier on in the comments. The United fan, we had the sun on us the whole game. I feel for those people that were in front of us, like that block, like closest to the goal, because they were in direct light. And
when we scored, I think when Rachel scored the second, someone had a bottle of water and he threw it, and it went all over me. It was like,
sure
it was either Izzy or I don't remember who it was. Who was sat behind Izzy? Well, behind Izzy. We don't say.
Was it?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I was going to say Andrew Wall then, but it probably wasn't him, was it? Just throw Andrew under the bus, maybe. I don't know.
It wasn't Andrew.
But Yeah, there's a few comments, Barry. We've started. I'll come to. I know you've started a couple of them here as well. Paul is one saying, honestly, neither would I. No. What stays in box part stays there. I think on that one. And I think some of the Spurs players would like
stays there.
Yeah, no, it does. I think some of the Spurs players would like to keep it that way as well. I don't think they want any footage going out from box part either. After that one.
Sorry, because I am literally. I said minutes in between. Just to clear up something, because I know that there were a lot of people saying that Jim Ratcliffe wasn't there yesterday. Absolutely true. We all know that. There was an INEOS representative. It's not one of the most high-profile people, but it is the person who's tasked with the women's team. And actually, what's great is, without identifying him, if you go back and look at the photos of Zelly, when Zelly lifts the trophy, you can just see a guy going like that. He does it with his other arm as well, but I can't get it in shot. And it was really nice to thank you, Shane. It was really nice to see that these are proper serious businessmen, but they cared. And I just thought, yeah, I love that. It was clear that there were a few people who should have been there that weren't. And it was clear that there were a few people who haven't been recognised who were up in the royal box. But there was representation, just not the person we thought it all should have been.
That's fair enough. I think on that one. I think obviously, yeah. I forget which one it was. Avram, wasn't it? Obviously, that was there. But, yeah.
Yes, indeed, it was. It was one TJ's
talking about. I'm just not acknowledging.
And it was hilarious because one of the commentators says, "There's Avram Grant," and I'm just like, pretty sure that's a different person altogether.
Oh dear. Deb, I know you've got to shoot off. Have you got a player of the match just before you scoot away?
All of them. Every single one of us. Everybody who wore red. It's really hard to pick because I just think it was such a solid team performance. Obviously, you look at someone like Lucia for the goals and the energy, and that goal she gets. What am I looking at here?
Charlie.
Do that anyway.
Not you, little child. Oh no, hang on.
Yeah, we don't know who it is then. But I think you look at Lucia, and obviously her first goal is because she's harried. And I think it's important to consider that the heat would have played a part in the players perhaps not playing at the kind of pace we'd have wanted them to. But she put in a heck of a graft all afternoon and deserved that kind of a goal. But yeah, let's give it to Lucia. But quite frankly, I think there were. But then you give it to Tooney because if you only do one thing in a match, for example, and that's what you do, because had we gone in at 0-0 half time, that game's very different. That's got memories of last year where we were the best team in the first half, and then just couldn't do anything in the second half. Chelsea get their goal in the second half, and that's the game done. So we had to get a goal before the half finished. So I don't know. I'll go with Lucia, but quite frankly, I'm not going to argue with anybody. I think Jade coming back made a big difference. Mm-hmm. I think that gave everybody a bit more composure in the back line. I think ultimately, as much as I really, really want to give us credit, and I will, I think it was really noticeable that Spurs were poor. I thought they were really, really poor. Is it one of those where we've played in a way that means they can't play? Possibly. But that was the Spurs that we beat 4-0 at their place earlier in the season. Mm-hmm. So, and on that note, it's been lovely to see you all. Good evening.
Good evening. I don't know what the next question was going to be. I don't know why I said that so formally. I'm losing my mind. Some would argue if I even had it in the first place, I'll get that out there before someone else says it.
Right, I'll put your chair back.
Thanks.
Barry, you've started a couple of comments in particular.
Yeah, let's have a look. I can't remember what I've done. What kind of person dances on tables? I just wanted to. It's just a nice little moment. I thought I'd put out that I had a go at tap dancing once, but I kept falling in the sink, so I had to stop.
I was going to say it's the people clearly that are tall enough to get on the tables in the first place, but
Can I just make it at this point? Barry and I are no longer related at this point.
That was horrendous.
What are those sorts of kid jokes, Connor? I mean, do you know why 6 is scared of 7?
It's going to be. It's something about 8 or something like that.
7,
I
8,
don't know.
9.
Yeah, that's the one. I knew it was something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Love a
dear.
good dad joke, me. What else have I done? Have I done any more? I haven't. Listen, we've longed this out long enough, Connor. I'm actually I've got a complaint to make. I very rarely make complaints, and the complaint is happening now.
Don't dampen the mood, Barry. If this is about the game,
no. I went yesterday, and when I went, I had so many things in my head as to what was going to be achieved, things that were going to have gone full circle that we would have finally been able to put to bed. Burgergate, for example. I need to let the fans know what's going on. He is going to eat the burger. It is happening. I tried to find one in Box Park. I thought I found one for $5.75. I went down to buy it. It was a vegan burger. We're not having that. We're getting him to do it. He's doing it properly or not at all. The ones that I could find for a vegan burger I'd have needed a second mortgage, and I haven't even got a first mortgage, so that was never going to happen. So there could be no burger yesterday. So I was a bit annoyed about that. But my understanding is that these fine young gentlemen and Charlie are going to sort him out when he gets to Old Trafford on Saturday with the Chelsea games. That's going to get videoed there and to do that. Now, I was incredibly ready for this Queen song. I really was. And the world has waited for this to happen.
Not my fault.
No, it's not your fault. And what's worse is I can't play the song on here because it's copyrighted, and we'd get into trouble for doing that. So there's only one thing left we can do, Connor.
I'm not a cappella in it. Don't even.
I've paid my dues time after time. I've done my sentence, but committed no crime.
I don't know the word. I'll wait till the chorus. And I'll join it.
I've made a few. I've had my share of sand kicked in my face, but I've come through. Come on, Connor.
Was it the chorus?
The champions. Come on, Connor.
My friend.
My friend. And we'll keep on fighting till the end.
Yeah, I'll do that for you.
The champions, no time for pride, because we are the
champions
of the FA Cup.
Technically, he hasn't really sang it, Barry. That was you.
Yeah, I'll do another one. Just me. Stop laughing at you.
I'm crying again.
Things I try and do for this channel. The things I try and do.
To be fair, though, Barry, at one point I thought he was trying to get out of the bet because we turned round to him and he was shaking his head at us yesterday.
Yeah.
He's not getting out of it. I'm going to find a way. I don't know what that way is going to be, but it's happening.
To be fair, I go back to it though. You could have got footage yesterday, Barry. I was singing in Box Park, and you know it. You could have easily got a video of me. I'm glad you didn't mind, but there was opportunities there.
Did you get a video of you doing what? To be
I don't
fair,
even know what song I was singing.
You waited until I left until you started drinking, which was the most sensible thing you've done in your life.
Yeah,
so that was impressive.
Can I just ask if anyone has footage of Connor in Box Park, please send it to Barry, myself, or Charlie, and we will make sure it gets seen by the appropriate people. Basically, the entire world.
Oh, it was honestly, Box Park turned into like Pop World towards the end of the night. It got so like cheesy. I was expecting like Pizza Hut and all that kind of stuff to come on. It was getting really like, come on. Is that what the song's called? You know what I mean? Yeah, Charlie's got it.
Did you just call it the Pizza Hut song? The fast food song. They can't just call it the Pizza Hut song. It's got McDonald's in. Do you not think they'd be just a tiny bit annoyed at that? Oh, how did McDonald's end up in the Pizza Hut song? Hang on a second. Yes, I often go when I'm in Pizza Hut. Yes, I'll have a large pepperoni and your very best bargain bucket, if you please, sir. No. What about when you get to the next verse? There's a wimpy. You should never be allowed to talk about food again. Never, ever. You're a disgrace. Gee whiz, man.
Oh my God.
Yes, that was supposed to be talking about it here.
Do you know what?
Oh, yeah, we got the FA Cup.
Do you know what I absolutely love?
Anyone who's joined late, we're just reviewing takeaways.
Genuinely, if you want to start talking about best moments, one of the favourite ones was walking into Box Park, which of course is meant to be a completely sort of Spursy venue. And when all these songs kept coming on, there we were giving it the big one. And that song about the Ethan Mannion one came in, and there we were walking up the stairs, giving it the Ethan Mannion song. And all the Spurs fans are just looking at us and going, yeah, what can we do about it? And the answer is not a lot because you lost. Unlucky.
Oh dear! Honestly, there's so many new people watching the channel for the first time tonight, by the way, and that like 5-10 minute section probably about sums up what the channel is like. We went from such a serious conversation about the game to whatever that just was for them.
So Shane, who would be your player in the match?
Do you know what,
Yeah,
Barry? You can have it, mate, after that performance.
Shane actually
In seriousness, Lucia, I thought she was
Shane
phenomenal.
actually said to me on the front row, he said, just so you know, I'm bulldozing all of you if we score. And he did. He even put his mum in the way. Like, he was there, and then his mum was next to him, and he's gone, no, that's not enough of the gauntlet. It was like he wanted an extra gladiator. So he moved his mum over to the side. Then, we had the most randomest of moments. I hope they're watching, because this lady came along. She just wandered in and said, I'm sat here, which I'm very confused about it. But she had seat number 246, which was directly next to me, and so exactly that way, and directly next to Shane's mum as well. And that's fine because you buy a ticket, you're allowed to do that. Anyway, she'd obviously had enough of us after about 25 minutes because she wandered off on the merry way. And I don't know that I can blame her. However, at half time, a random geezer turned up and said, you're in my seat. I'm like, I don't think I am somewhere. And I even showed him that 247, that's me. He said, oh, I'm 246. I'm like, blimey, that's fast. I've never seen that before. Like, you're not that girl. Surely you're not that. I've not been drinking. And it wasn't. It was just her brother. And that was great fun. So, yeah, and fair play. He stood there for the whole bit. He enjoyed it. He even had a little sing-along. So that was quite cool. And at that point, Shane stopped trying to beat us up. But not John Devonport. People like a good one.
That's where I changed tactic and did a Charlie and thought I want to elevate myself up a little bit, gain some height for the second half.
What about you, Mark? Who's your player of the match?
I agree with everyone. I agree with everyone. I think you've got to give it to Lucia. I'll try and go serious. It won't last, but I'll try. I think it's got to be Lucia. However, I thought Zelly. Sorry, Charlie. I call her by the appropriate name. El Capitano. She was immense yesterday. She was brilliant. Her passing was great. The whole thing yesterday. Lucia, the energy she put into it, you can't knock that yesterday. Tooney's goal, obviously, everyone would look at, but for me, it's got to be Lucia with a notable mention to Zelly.
Absolutely. And Charlie, can you tell everyone what your view of Tooney's goal was like?
Right. I'd gone to the loo because I'd held it in for so long, and then I got out of the loo, and I was in the concourse, and then I just heard this absolutely colossal noise, and I thought, "There's no way that's a red card or anything." So I bolted, but I ran past our entrance, which was 111. So I was so stressed. and it ended up coming in at 113. And then I got to the set and like, I don't know any of these people.
It's the whole block.
Yeah.
And then what?
You can just get around. So I just ran. And then I was in front of you, wasn't I? I was at the railing.
And then what happened then, Charlie?
I was there.
Now's a good time to tell you, Charlie, that wasn't actually what happened. While you went to the toilet, we all switched seats.
Well, anyway, I got back there and I was like, yes, we scored. And Deb went, get out. You can't come back in now. Get out. You have to stay out there.
I said the same to Donna. I know she's in the comments. I said the same to Donna because she'd gone to the toilet as well. When she came back, I was like, you need to get back in the concourse now before Tottenham score.
Oh.
Oh, dear.
We're not superstitious or anything.
The noise was unreal. The noise from the concourse. Oh, my word. So,
Charlie, have you got a player of the match?
oh, well, yes, I'm going to say the same person that everyone else has said. I thought she was brilliant. Garcia was amazing. And we talked about the heat. So you wouldn't know that it was, I think all of our players, you wouldn't have known it was almost 30-degree heat out there, the way they were running. But I would also like to give a special mention. I think when you're 3-0 up, it will be easy for us to sort of just sit back and sort of let Spurs have the ball a bit. But I think when Mallard came on, she just maintained that really quick tempo. I think she was incredible, that 20 minutes that she was on, and sort of laid off a couple of good balls and had a couple of good chances herself. I thought her performance was really good when she came on. And that was the same for all of the subs. No one came in and just treated it like a bit of a jolly or a testimonial. They came in and they kept the tempo high and they all worked really hard. They were just amazing. But yeah, I've gone for Lucia, but I think a notable mention for the midfield really generally. I think they've taken a lot of stick across the season, and they were brilliant yesterday. It was just like if you put all however many players came on the pitch in that poll, if you could put them all in there, I wouldn't have any complaints about a single one of them getting it. I think Mary had nothing to do, did she? Just like that was the game, wasn't it? But Garcia's work rate, it's been there all season, hasn't it? She's always worked hard and she's tracked back really well. And I don't think there's many players that will be chasing the ball down in that situation where she got the third goal, because it looks like a simple pass for the keeper, doesn't it? But she just anticipates something might go wrong here and she was ready for it. And that was the moment, I think, when everyone was like, right, we've won this. Like,
it was the third goal for me that it was done. That's it. The last half an hour was just a party.
Came around to Colin, I was just like, this is it. Oh my God. Like,
well, I've actually got a video of just after the third goal. I couldn't believe it. All three of you, Barry, Mark, and Charlie, all of you turning around, miming a burger in your hands. I've got that video. I'll send it to you after this. All three of you doing exactly the same motion. I couldn't believe me.
I think I'll actually find that mine was a corn on the cob, but there we go.
You know how people usually bring like a little foil trophy for a cup final? We're all going to have foil burgers for you next week, Connor.
Amazing.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Listen, I know that we've got to do the switch over very shortly, but Charlie already knows the answer to this, but I feel like it's the right thing to do. We had a brilliant day yesterday, so I've got a little caption competition for some of you. And the question simply is this, Shane and Mark, you can kick us off, is what has been said here?
Oh, I know what was said.
I've tweeted it, Barry, so people know.
So you can see me as just about to take a photo.
However, given more recent events, I imagine that was what your reaction was to Connor's attempt at singing "We Are the Champions" and also calling the fast food song the Pizza Hut song.
That might be
that was in person. You can see now, won't it? Did you just call it the Pizza Hut song?
I love this photo so much because obviously Mia took a few and it's like it's caught me literally a second after I said to Matty.
Look how proud of himself.
You can see you're looking at someone as well, like yeah, I said that.
Pride.
That was me.
That's him going, I've known this chap for 2 years and that's the first time I've got him.
Yeah. Simon's got it. Along those lines, I think my exact phrase is something like, "Do I need to crouch down so I can fit him next to Bat?" or something like that.
Now, thankfully, it only took me a few beats to go. Only if you want to get your Hulk whiff in. I was a bit shocked, as you can see, and taken aback.
Oh, but there we are. Right, we shall wrap it up. I was just going to say rotate is the word. I just want to say, obviously, while you're both on here, Mark and Shane, obviously from the supporters' point of view, massive thanks. I'll just say from myself, but I'm sure I can speak for everyone in everything you did do ahead of the final. Obviously, sorting the tickets out and everything else that you did in and around the final. I think from that side of things, it was well, I don't know. Obviously, you can probably speak about it more than me, but it seemed a massive success from the outside, and it certainly made it a lot easier. With the coach travel, with the ticketing, and everything else that you put on. I'm sure there's a lot more stuff behind the scenes that you did leading up to. Literally, I'm not joking, right? This is how hard these guys work. Literally, the semi-final had just finished. We walked out. Mark was already on the phone sorting things for the final. That's how these guys work. So, yeah, for those of you who don't know, yeah, thanks for that. And if there's anything you want to wrap up or shout out before you hop off,
just hope everyone really enjoyed the day yesterday. I know I did. I was very lucky to be with. Not just people I would call friends, but people I would call them family. I love spending my time going to the football with the majority of the guys I spend the time with. There is nothing better than going to watch football with friends and family, and I love it all. And the supporters club is only the supporters club with the people who support the club. And the people, Shane and I, and Debs and Fiona and Ramu and Chloe and I've missed Torrin from Norway. We all work for the supporters of the club who support the team, and without you guys telling us what you need, what you not want, we're nothing. So I think it's we do it for the love of the club, not for our own individual glory.
No, there we go. I think that's perfectly rounded off on that one. You'll see us all. I say if you do see us about next weekend, you'll see us at Old Trafford. I'll be stood next to you, and I'm sure they'll have a burger in.
We're going to have a big sign.
With cameras.
Oh, it's going to be fun. Thank you so much, both, for
everyone giving me Elvis is there with that quiff and the grease I'm going to put in that burger. You're going to wipe in your head. Do you like onions in your burger? We need to get this right.
I wouldn't choose to. No, they're okay. I wouldn't choose
to.
No.
Onions,
yes,
cheese.
That's a yes.
Oh, so hang on. Anything I say no to, you're just going to put it.
Being as I've got the right outfit on, being as I've got the right outfit on, would you like fries with that?
Oh look, he's from that Pizza Hut song.
You want any ketchup, mustard?
Mustard? No, that's vile.
You want bacon on it?
How big are we going here?
Well,
depends how much you're going to order, Connor.
We're not going to. I'm thinking maybe a double stack.
You want it to be quite good because the most important action here, Connor, is going to be that moment where you do the squeeze.
Yeah.
Which is how you get it in your mouth in the first place.
You see, that's why I'm thinking we go with cheese, bacon, and onions with a bit of ketchup on it as well. So it just goes on the hands.
As long as it's on the cheaper side, because I spent a load of money at the game yesterday.
It's Old Trafford.
Yeah,
we're not
skint now.
We're going to one of the vans outside Old Trafford, Connor. You'll be fine.
Oh, there we go. Oh, Andrew's coming on next. He'll know the van. He goes to every single game. I know the one he's on. There we go. Let's go to. I'm going to call it Andrew's van. Let's go there.
Do you know what? Very nice bacon cheeseburger, that van.
Shane goes there as well, you see.
Can we also make sure, lads, that when he does this, it needs to be like the eating the donut challenge? You know, you're not allowed to lick your lips when you got the sugar.
Oh, yeah.
Not allowed to wash your
hands. No napkins. No napkins.
The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move him that far away that he can't go and get a napkin to wipe it off his hands.
Smash him.
Well, we shall see how that unfolds on Saturday. We're going to have to rotate, guys, because these two have been sat backstage for about 15, 20 minutes now. So I feel we should bring them in on that one. Thank you to the three of you for giving it your Monday, hopping on here, talking about the game. I said, I'm sure this isn't going to be the last thing that we... Oh, Charlie's already gone. Didn't even wait for me to find her. See it, darling.
Right, now she's gone.
I'm going to go and watch the game again.
Indeed.
Yes, there we go.
Absolutely.
See what, Johnny dropped off of here quicker than she would have fallen off that bar.
To be fair, I would like to see
Didn't catch her this time.
To be fair, I would like to see the fall just to see what happens.
Yeah, Melissa and Andrew are the only two people in person that have seen me eat a burger in my hands. They're the only two people that were there and witnessed it. So, it's going to be something for the viewers to entertain themselves with, I'm sure. Anyway, right, let's rotate the guests around. Thank you, Mark, Shane, for coming on Monday evening. Here we go again. Hang on. There she is. There we go. Welcome. I don't know why I just did that.
What's happening on the head here?
What are you on about?
What have you got on your head?
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
No, we know what that is, Connor. Oh, it's glasses. Okay. I was getting a bit for a minute. You looked like one of those Monster Raving Looney Party people. Getting it makes sense now. There we go. Hi.
I've got no voice.
Oh, geez, you haven't. That is a proper croaky voice. Charlie has apologised. A phone call. Yeah, all right. We'll believe you.
You've had that one before.
Yeah. Here we go. It's like your whole brand. Like, you've not been on for a while, and people haven't forgotten. Like, straight in there with that. I'm actually going to come to you first, then, Vic, on that, talking about the Tooney goal, if you want. And I've asked everybody this: your moment of the day, and if you want to talk us through the Tooney goal from your point of view. Because obviously you were sat similar to where we were, but obviously much further down, close to the pitch side.
Yeah, I've been papped everywhere, me. I'm on every Facebook and Twitter account. It's ridiculous. Looking like an absolute loon. But yeah, best day of my life. Honestly, best day of my life. Yeah, it was just a bit hot. That was the only thing I would say, is it was so hot. The best bit of the day was Tooney scored a goal at Wembley once again. Obviously, I cried and cried. And it was really funny because I turned to who I was with and I was like, that's it. I was like, she's not going to let us lose after that banger. Like, there's no way. And yeah, honestly, like, I'm still speechless. I couldn't stop singing. The coach was rocking on the way there. Our coach driver was insane. Apart from he was a Bolton fan, so he was winding me up quite a bit about Wigan. But I let him off. But honestly, just unreal. I'm just buzzing, like, unreal. I can't even put into words like how good it was. I mean, you was all there, so you know how good it was. But it was just insane. Yeah, insane. I still can't get over that we're champions.
That's one word to describe it. We've gone through every adjective, haven't we, tonight? Of like people, everyone we've had on has given like a different. That's the first time we've heard that. That's a different like adjective to use. I think everyone's kind of said differently. You know, emotional or I don't know. I can't remember. My memory doesn't go back past 5 minutes ago. But
the final whistle went, and every emotion went through my body. I was crying, but I was laughing. I was happy. I don't even know what I was feeling. I felt sad because like we was on the other side of that last year. Like, I did feel sad for them, but then I was like, I actually don't care. I was like, we've won. Yeah, just unreal. And I've woke up this morning feeling fine. I've woke up this morning with a really, really sore throat, and I'm very tired, and I was very grumpy in work today, so I apologise to all the children that were in my class today because I was the most grumpiest person ever. But yeah.
I was going to say, I don't envy anyone that was in work today. And, you know, people that were supposed to be in work hinting at somebody in the chat who then didn't make it into work because they were too busy out partying with us late last night. If they're still in the chat, they'll know exactly who that's aimed at. Andrew, I want to throw it over to you then, because obviously full-time whistle, you were the first person that I kind of just grabbed hold of, you know, when that whistle went. Yes, Melissa, please do join, because it would be great to have you on. And I knew you'd know it was straight away. But yeah, Andre, obviously, you know, I saw your emotions. Sorry, Melissa. I saw your emotions like live and direct, so to speak, you know, at full time. But yeah, have you got like a highlight of the game, your standout? What was your kind of biggest moment on that one?
Obviously, during the game, most people are going to pick out Tooney's goal. And great goal and worthy of winning any cup final. Because I was looking back on that goal, and I just remember the start of that goal as well, where it all started in the defence. It was Tooney was back in the defence, so she made that run all the way forward before she picked up the pass. But let's say when she scored, it was like my nerves just slightly came down off the roof, and I just thought, another 45 minutes to go, we can do this. But for me, it was when Rachel Williams scored the second. I was just like, there, I think we've got it. So it's just like, when the ball came from Zelly as well, I thought, what a pinpoint cross. And when Rachel Williams got her head on it, I thought, I didn't think that was going in. It just looked like it was just going to drift further and further wide. And I was like, and just suddenly just nestled in that bottom corner, and I was just like jumping for joy on that one. So I was just like, yeah, it was when Rachel Williams scored. I was just like, yeah, I don't think Spurs can come back from this as well. But Lucia was phenomenal as well. So she was like running at everything, trying to, help us in any way she could. But I was thinking, like Marc said earlier, I just think the whole day, it was just like, because I was on the coach as well, so getting picked up in Birmingham as well. So just the last we had on the coach, and, yeah, it was just, I just think the best thing about the day in the whole, spending it with all of you as well, spending it with like my United family. So it's just, yeah, I just, as I said, and I think I said it in the chat, I said on the way on the coach, just emotionally drained. And then today I'm just like, I work still on a high, and I'm just like doing my work, and I was like, just my mind drifting back and thinking, this time, I was just like, yesterday, watching the cup final, and these specific times, these goals were going in. So I was just like, yes, going to live long in the memory, and hopefully this is the start of many more trophies we're going to get in the years to come as well. Yeah, an emotional end. I was trying not to cry as well. I was like, I could feel myself crying.
I'm glad I had my glasses on, because
Yeah.
especially when Country Roads came on, I was like, oh, this is hitting me a bit now.
I turned around and I could see where you all were. And I turned around and said to Elise, I was like, I bet Connor's crying. I turned around and he had the biggest sunglasses on. I was like, oh, he's done that. I was fuming. I had tears dripping down my face, and he was covering them up with his sunglasses.
Oh,
It was a wonderful moment turning around and seeing Andrew. Everybody was stood up except Andrew. It just at a point where he was just sat and just looked through these people at me.
I think that's when we had the water break. We had the water break, second half water break, and I was just like,
it was during the water break, and we're just like,
it was just boiling, and I was like, I needed a breather, and I'm just like, I thought, we're winning, and I'm just like, I can't breathe here. I'm just like, I need a moment.
I watched it back, and it actually said on the TV how sorry they felt for the United fans in the direct sun, and apparently it was 28 degrees pitch side.
It was mad. I've never wanted clouds so much in my life.
It was so nice when it like the sun like went behind the cloud, just for like brief moments. It was like, oh,
a bit of a breeze. I was like, oh. I said that to Max, who was next to me. I was like, thank God for that.
There's people in jumpers.
There was a brief moment where I thought,
is that? Don't know how.
There was a brief moment. There's a brief moment where I thought I was going to go and be a Spurs fan for a bit, just see if I could, because there was loads of seats around there. That's why I tried to sit down at him.
I think I said to Max, I was like, was it Mark Skinner? He was dressed in black, and I thought, I bet he's sweltering and all that. I think he had a jacket on, but he said, oh.
And a turtleneck. What's he covering his neck for?
And a blazer.
Yeah, he took that off. He said, I couldn't, if he stood out in the blazer as well, he'd have just.
He does mention what he wore in his post-match interview, and so does Tooney. She mentioned it as well as like, what is he wearing in this heat? What was all?
It wasn't it was hot in Box Park as well, to be fair. It wasn't great there. But there we go. It was a warm day, we know that. But overall, yeah. Would we have changed it? I don't think so. I think I'd rather it that way than chucking down the rain. I think throughout the day on that one. There was a few comments I was just going to get to in just a second. Where is it? Yeah, literally, you were referencing the second goal, the Williams one. I'd literally just got back in pretty much at that point because I'd missed like the first 6-7 minutes of the second half.
Yeah,
being in the queue in there.
You asked us, have we missed anything? I don't think there might have been an attempt.
Mallard had come on at that point.
Yeah, I think there's been an attempt, but there's came to nothing, and then that happened.
Literally, it was. Yeah. Do you know whose fault that was? Sorry, I'm going to out him again. Mia and Jess's fault that was while we were still in the queue, because I went to order. I just want a water. Mia comes over. Oh, we want the crisps and the water and the thing. I was like, wait, no. Do you actually want that? No, I just want the crisp. Right. So what do you actually want? Oh, let's have the big bag so we can share it. It's like,
Yeah,
Mia, will you make it? So so that's why we're in the queue a little bit longer. And to be fair, it was moving pretty slow anyway, so it wasn't all on them. But we might have been a bit quicker. We'd have just realised what we actually wanted to get.
You know how critical I am on Zell, but her performance yesterday was unreal. Every set piece we had, I'm pretty sure someone got on the end of it. Rach or Millie, she was just unreal. I remember turning around to Elise and was like Zell's been really good.
I think that's. To me, that was one of her best performances, because not only her set pieces you mentioned, it was actually the way she controlled the midfield, getting stuck in, the tackle. I think there was literally, if you watch we all have watched the game back, 96th minute, I think Hinnie goes to get the ball. Zell's like, no, I'm having this. Straight ball through. We're 4-0 up. And she's threaded the ball through. I think Malak gets on the end of it. And it's like, she did that all game. And I think that's why, to me, that was one of the best performances of the season.
I agree.
That's why she's on the poll.
Lisa and Zell, to me, have had a few off games, maybe like the last 2 games. And then I was like, oh, maybe we should start Haley. But the midfield was just insane yesterday. And the subs that was made as well, they were just all great.
And he made them at the right time as well. I thought Skinny, especially that weather outside, it was like, and then getting 2, 3, and then 4 was like making the right changes as well. And I'm just...
He learned a lesson from last year's FA Cup final.
I think that midfield as well, at least I think she grew into the games. Like, I think, just remember at the start of the game, I think we were both teams were a bit nervous, who's going to commit first, who's going to, potentially, take it by the scruff of the neck, and it was us as well. Like with Spurs as well, that third goal they conceded, it was like you said, Barry, at the time, I was cheering like mad, but then watching it back, I was like, I do feel sorry for the keeper. Like, she was anticipating the kick not being picked up by Garcia, but you could just tell the look on her face. She was like, oh, yeah, that third goal just cost us, getting us back into the final. So, yeah, some way to feel a little bit sorry, but not too sorry, but it was cheering like mad when it went.
I feel sorry for them because we was on the other side of it last year, weren't we? Obviously, last year we didn't get beaten 4-0, but it was still a loss. And also, I always feel bad for the goalkeepers. I'm always like that, but Mary's done that this season as well. The best do it. I rate Becky. I don't think she's a bad keeper. It's just one of those moments that was unfortunate for her, I guess.
Wasn't it nice as well not be moaning about the refs? Like,
I thought all the decisions, to be fair, throughout the game were right.
They weren't too bad. There was one moment right at the beginning where there was a blatant foul, and then Martha Thomas was whinging because she didn't get a corner. And we're just like, well, to be fair, that's one each then, because you should have been pulled back a while ago. But I think other than that, and the fact that Charlie was counting the number of times that Garcia was taken down, which I think she got up to about 7 before she got bored. I thought they were okay. It's pretty good.
I agree. Yeah, I didn't think she was soft either. She weren't stopping for silly stuff. She was keeping the game flowing as much as possible, which was good.
I think that's what I liked. Yeah, exactly that. I prefer refs that let more go than constantly start-starting the game and things like that. So for me, yeah, no complaints there.
And the referee being fair, if you're going to give it for one, you've got to give it for the other as well. If it's a similar type of challenge or something else, you can't, seem to side in one over the other. So we just want a bit, as we say, referees consistency. That's what we want in the game.
No, for sure on that one. I can see Melissa still commenting. She is backstage actually, so we are going to get her. This is going to be a Melissa debut, by the way, for the channel. I can't wait for this. And we are going to have there's another debut coming as well. Don't you worry about that, Barry.
I'll go full Delia Smith. Let's be having you. Come on.
I don't know about that. I'm quite happy with.
Who says let's have it?
Let's have it. That's Peter Kay, isn't it? Have it.
No, I feel like someone says it in the United team. They go, "Let's have it." Don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about, I'm afraid.
No, mate.
Only 5'1". Things go in my head quite easy.
Maybe it's me that says it.
The one thing I want to ask you both, because you were both, obviously, we didn't ask the previous guys who were obviously on this as well, but you were both on the coach, obviously the supporters coach. Just want to ask you what that atmosphere was like on the way back, because obviously, Andrew, you were on it last year as well. I don't know whether Vicky were as well. You remember what it was like, that kind of got-in feeling, in terms of how it went and things like that. But yeah, what was that coach? I can imagine it being a lot happier, on the way back. I don't know which one of you wants to go first on that one.
I'll go first. I mean, comparing it to I remember last year just getting on the couch and just quiet, and I just remember putting my buds in my ear and so I'm just going to listen to some music because I just couldn't, just want to put my mind elsewhere after the defeat last year. But yesterday it was just like, the atmosphere was just brilliant on the couch and just talking about the match and other things as well, and then stopping at the services. I think we stopped at Northampton services, and there was loads of other United fans there as well. So it was like, I think James Spencer tweeted out some at Warwick services as well that the United fans were all gathering there as well. So it was literally up the M6 where United fans were celebrating all the way. So, but yeah, the atmosphere on the couch was brilliant. So yeah. What more can I say?
And Vic, for yourself, she's moved.
I know, I've had to put my thing on charge. The coach. On the way down, it was pretty dead, not gonna lie. Up to about maybe like 45 minutes before we got there, I got the tune starting because I was getting really annoyed and really stressed. Like I said, we all stopped at the same services on the way down and the way back, I'm pretty sure. We also had the tune bus there at the same time, both ways, which was pretty crazy. So they were all up for it as well at 8 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, and then on the way back, we got on the coach and it was just buzzing. Then it died a little bit, and then the whole way home it was bouncing. And people were trying to sleep, and I was just so loud. I was pretty quiet in the stadium, actually. I was louder on the coach. In the stadium, I think I was just like in awe. Like I was like, what is going on? And then on the coach, I was just so loud. So anyone who was on my coach, I do apologise. There was actually an Arsenal fan on our coach, though, and I only found out 10 minutes before we got back. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been on that coach all the way back. We'd have left her there. So it's a good job she only told me on the way back.
Can I just check that McDonald's not upset also because, people went in and asked for a slice of pizza?
You're not going to let this go, are you?
No, I'm not. Not for some time.
I can't believe I said that. I couldn't remember, right? Yeah, I don't know.
Colin, you used to be a DJ. There's no excuse.
But there we are. I don't even know what my next question. I should really have prepped some questions for this, shouldn't I? I mean, now we've got a lot of people waiting backstage, and there is 2 people I want to bring on that I'm waiting that have get me words out that we're waiting first. So I want to get them in at some point as well because I do want some sleep tonight. I said a 2-hour show. I don't want to be going for 3. So we are all of you backstage. We will get you on. I can see you all waiting patiently back there. Don't you worry. We're going to get you in just a moment. Have I asked you to this? Your stand-up moment? I think I did. I think that's the opening question. So you questioned me now. You questioned me as a host here. Come on. I'm better than that. Come on. Maybe don't sound it half the time, but we'll go for player of the match then, in terms of who you would have gone for. Obviously, we've got the 4 on the poll. You don't have to go for one of those 4. Is there anyone else you would have gone for, or would you have gone for one of those 4 that are on the poll currently?
I'd like to say it. I know I can't have everyone, but I'd say Garcia for me. Just she was just phenomenal. But I have to give a mention to Zellum as well. She was just phenomenal in the midfield as well. So, but yeah, Garcia for me was the player of the match.
My player of match was. Oh, I don't know.
You know you want to say two.
Say,
You're
you
going to
could
have
go
to.
say
She wants to
it.
say two, but she knows that the answer is Garcia.
No.
Just say Tony.
No, I do think Garcia was a player of match, and I do think she deserved it. I thought Mallard, when she came on, was insane. I just want that contract signed because I absolutely love that woman. She is hilarious. And I just thought it was insane, but she always is at Wembley. But I always say it, and I know I do, but when she's in the game and involved, we play well. When she's not, we are shocking. And that is what you call a game player. And, you know, she's just unreal. And that goal was just unreal. And to me, any of her goals this season, you know, I think she should have 4 goals at least this season up for the goal of the year. Like the Brighton goal, the Leicester goal, the Newcastle goal, and the final goal. Them 4 goals, best ones of the season so far, 1,000%. And I think she'll get player of the season as well.
It's interesting you say that. When we're going to tweet this tomorrow, our kind of player of the season and goal of the season, we wait until after the final because me and Barry said if there's a goal in the final that is probably going to eclipse it, and now I think we've got our goal of the season. I think that Tooney one is probably going to win most people's votes when we come to do that one.
You know, at the end of the day, there's not. To me, I don't think there's a bigger. She's a big game player, and I don't think there is a bigger one out there at this moment in time. That's a big statement, I know it is, but I really don't. You know, she shows up when she needs to. You know, there's some games I think what is are you joking? Now I'm going to be thinking about that now. I've got that up.
Gradually reducing Vic's vocabulary one word at a time.
Don't even. I can't even bother thinking about it. But yeah, I do think she is a big game player, and yeah, I'm not going to say anything else.
But before I let you. That was quite good, actually. Before I let you both go, then we rotate to the next 2 people, and then literally it's going to be a pretty quick fire thing towards the end of this. I just want to ask you about this is a really random question. I've literally just thought up on the top of my head. Do you have a favourite photo or anything that you've seen? There's been thousands of images that has come from the game, players celebrating with the trophies, the post game, the celebrations, anything. Is there one that sticks in your mind? I don't have one. I'm just curious to see if anyone else does in terms of because there's been so many good. Aoife Mannion with the bucket hat, of course. You know there's a lot of those floating around. Have you got a big stand-up one? The originals photo is really good as well. You know, from the 4 originals that were there. Is there any that?
I don't know who posted it. When the players were walking up the Wembley steps as well. That was one I saw a good few times there on my socials as well. So that one was stood out for me as well. So, and obviously the Wembley Arch one as well. So turning red. So yeah.
That's a good one, to be fair. Shane.
Oh yeah, it's literally. I think Millie Turner said, "Is your head all right this morning?" I think it might be.
She posted on a story, Aoife, something like the big news or something, or the real news with that picture. It was making me laugh so much. My favourite picture will be one of Tooney, obviously, just because for your childhood club, she's literally living my dream. To me, she's living a lot of people's dreams. You know what I mean? I would have loved to have scored a goal for Manchester United at Wembley. Helping them win an FA Cup final, I think it's unreal. But the one of her posing like she thinks she's on Vogue, lying on the floor, makes me laugh so much. So yeah, I'd probably say that one. And I really like the one of Maya as well, because that is just the future of Man United, and that just makes me really excited. So yeah, I like the one of all the. I
was going to say I've got one more photo I remember. You kind of. The winner's medal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for people who haven't seen that was and if you could for people who don't follow me on Twitter or anything else, so I did get I will say it because they're probably watching this. So the Zellums, by the way, absolutely incredible for this. I just wanted a picture of the medal. That's my reaction, because I was like, I can't believe they've just given this to me. But so it's a bit heavier than you'd think as well, by the way. Anyway, that's not the point. That was a real.
And you know something, I did this one on purpose. I'd chosen 2 photos to throw in, obviously that caption competition one, but this one as well. And we might as well do this at this moment, because if there was ever going to be a guy who I feel like could deserve to just randomly walk into a hotel and have one of the players come up and do that, look at the little look on his cute little face. Look at him, the poor guy has had about 700 pints at this point. And he's not even, he thinks it was Katie Zeller, but it was actually just a random scarf seller. Genuinely, to have had that opportunity for that to go on, and you think of all of the work that goes into this channel and everything that we do with it as well, for him to get that little moment and to see that little look of shock, he puts a hell of a lot into this channel, and to get a little moment like that is, I think, the very least that you deserve when you had to put up with someone like me and Andrew all day. So
I was just about to say as well, like this year I've been on a podcast even quite a few times, and you deserve it for all the things you've done this year, Connor, and I wish you'd have given it to you.
Yeah, I didn't keep it, by the way. For those of you wondering, people were asking, have you still got it? I'm like, no, of course I didn't keep it. I'm not that.
You definitely one for entertaining us every week, and yeah.
I try my best. No, I appreciate that. It was definitely I literally didn't speak for like 20 minutes after that. I was just sat on the table with Rook and Louise and just sat there like, oh, that happened. Anyway, so yeah. So I appreciate that, Andrew, for you bringing that one up. That was quite a something. Right, we've got so many people. I've had a few messages of other people that want to come on. I want to rotate though, because we've got 2 people that will have quite a few stories, I'm sure, of the game, and certainly some of the celebrations afterwards. One of them definitely will. Some of the celebrations afterwards. Vic, Andrew, thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure we're going to see you very soon when we come to our kind of end of the season wraps and all those kind of things over the coming weeks on that one. So thank you very much. Here we go again. Oh, I just cut her straight off. Sorry, Vic. What did you say? I'm so sorry.
Wow. I take it all back. The least deserving man ever.
He did not deserve that medal. Wow.
Anyway, right. What did you
see? How do you like it? Yeah.
That's where you go, Mabel.
That's your payback.
I can't believe this. Anyway, right. I am going to cut you both off now because we do need to rotate around. Thank you very much, both of you, for coming on.
Thank you.
There we go. Hold it for a couple of seconds. Here we go. This is going to be like story time here with these 2. I can see the 3 of you also waiting backstage as well. Don't you worry. I'm coming to you 3 in just a second because I know you can hear me. On that one, well, Melissa, how are you feeling today? Because you were with us for most of the night. So.
Really good.
Are you cold or something? What's with the?
I've been in bed all day. I can't work out if it's the alcohol, if it's the calm down, or sunstroke. Maybe a mixture of all 3. But I have not left my bed all day.
To be fair,
just join us.
Exactly. There we go. And Rosa, thank you for coming on. Debut as well. Look at this. There we go. I'm sure you've got lots to say on the game as well. So I'm literally just going to ask you both literally what I've asked everyone else. Or have you got a highlight from yesterday? Like I said, that can be pre-game, during the game, after the game. Have you got anything that really kind of stands out to you as your kind of best moment of yesterday?
I just say the whole day. It was just insane.
In Box Park before the game with Maya's family, Millie's family, Ella's family, like it was so good. Like we all just kind of merged together and we were all singing and dancing together. And this was before the game, so
in the Spurs fan zone.
Was it like a Spurs, like, because I didn't go. Obviously, we went somewhere to the United, the Green Zone. Was it actually a Spurs like thing in the end, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
They paid to take over Box Park. We got told to take our flags down.
wow. Loads of them every day. Geez, well there we go. So it wasn't, but to be fair, seeing some of the videos, you certainly made yourselves known in there with the chanting and all things in between there. I was going to ask you, Melissa, for a story after the game if you've got any, because we did a few trophy lists with your little inflatable FA Cup. I don't know whether that was yours or whether you just inherited it.
I stole it.
Okay, there we go then. So we did a few of those. There was obviously a lot of dancing involved, quite a lot of drinking as well, with various people as the night went on. Sorry, Rose, I can see your eye rolling at me. I won't bring it up again. I know you may have wanted to be there. But yeah, I'll ask you. I'll rephrase the original question in terms of like post game. Was there anything like, obviously, because for most people it was quite, I guess, an emotional thing. Obviously, seeing United women win their first major trophy. Obviously, it's not the first actual trophy; it's the first major one. Is there anything like post game where you kind of thought like, damn, this is like hit home now that United have actually, because we've all kind of sat here, we've all complained about the season. It's been such an up and down, like poor season. Is there anything really kind of motivating you thought, oh wow, like we've actually won it? Was it the trophy lift? Was it seeing a player's reaction? Was it kind of post game when you were celebrating? When would it like actually hit you that we've won the thing?
I think for me, it wasn't until I'd sat on the train to go home. Like, I sat there and I opened up Getty Images and just looked at all the photos and I was like, what's just happened?
There was literally, that's why we asked the question a second ago. There was thousands of images like to go through. That's why we've not tweeted any yet, because there were so many on that one to try and filter through. Have you? I'm assuming, Ro, before I come to you with this, Ro, have you got a favourite image of the game? Or I'm assuming it's a Mary one. That's why I'm asking you.
Oh.
Is she frozen? Oh, is she back? Oh, no.
I don't know. I think a good one this morning. I woke up and saw the one of Jess and Mary. That was a really good one.
Is that the one where they're holding the trophy like side by side? It's like the photographer room, isn't it, with the red background, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
But honestly, just all of them. I don't think there's one. I can't just pick just one.
There's certainly been a lot going around. Yeah, from which you'd expect, and to be fair, keep them coming. For me, I've literally just thought of one actually. The Rachel Williams one, which is covered in the confetti, I think is an iconic one, which is like it looks like a bloody Christmas tree with all the confetti down there. Looks like that one. There you go. Ella's with you. She agrees on the Jason Mary one as well. Melissa, when did it hit you then that kind of we actually won? Yeah, kind of the FA Cup in the end, and was it? Let's say, was it the trophy lift? Was it the celebrations, or did it not hit you until a bit later on?
I think when the final whistle went, like obviously it was so loud. Like I didn't realise that the whistle had actually gone. If I'm completely honest with you, like my video, I'm like filming like this, and then everyone's jumping. I'm like, oh okay, it's done. Let's go. Like I didn't realise because you couldn't hear it. So like then I guess, but I think at the end when we were all in Box Park and then they told all of us to get off of like the top section of it, so everyone was downstairs and like the only people that were upstairs was the, like Spurs players and families, and we were all downstairs and we were all in like a big group, and then it was a case of like all just like going to each other, and like I spoke to so many people that I've never met last night, and it was like I'd known them for years, if that makes sense. And we just started talking about like the season and what it's been like and that kind of stuff. And I think like taking the time to reflect, even though I was way too many drinks down, like just being able to reflect on what we had actually done. And then I think just like running around with the flags around us, if I'm completely honest with you.
I think I didn't expect it to be like, you are right actually, because there's people I spoke to, like you just said there, that I've never met before, and it, like you said, it just felt like you were just with people that you'd known for ages. On that one, can I just ask you, how would you? Because I know Mia's going to be watching this back. How would you rate her dance moves out of 10? Because I really want to. I want to out her here because she was on it. To be fair, her and Polly were giving it stuff on the dance floor.
11. It was great. Do you know what? I've never seen someone slut drop so many times in the space of about 10 minutes. Like Polly came coming up to me, grabbing my hands, and just slut dropping. And I was like, "What is going on?" And then we started adding the turns in, but I think the Dirty Dancing lifts was.
Oh, I've got a video of that.
Was the best.
We were 6 minutes away there from the watershed, weren't we? 6 minutes away, but never quite. I have a question for you also, though. Don't worry about it. It's fine. They're all big kids now. If they're still with us at this point, I think they'll be over it. The bit that I think was really interesting is that Connor didn't drink until I left. And I now understand that he was dancing as well. And I've also understood that some of that dancing may have been just flag waving.
I literally was. I was just walking around going like that.
So, and we've seen some of his flag dancing today as well. As he's decided to have a go at Mia, let's throw it back to him. Oh, no, don't leave us. Oh, thank you. I was worried.
Right.
I wanted to know, what would you have rated Connor's dancing as?
Jeez, this is going to be low.
As somebody who has grown up competitively dancing,
This is where I just hide my face.
nationally and internationally, I think he would have put me to shame. I learned a few things about how to wave a flag.
Oh, it was bad.
It was great.
Oh, it's because I had quite a few in such a short space of time. And if that woman's watching, by the way, who paid for mine and Brooke's drinks and then decided to whack like 6 shots because I said I'd pay for hers, you know, I'm not made of money. That was quite. I really hope they're watching because I was like, yeah, I'll get yours because you just got ours, whatever. And then we'll have 6 more shots on this one. So what? Oh, yeah, that was a moment. Oh, see, Barry's not as bad as you think.
It was great.
Well, spoiler alert, we're probably going to see this again Saturday night because I do believe there's a little entourage of us out, similar kind of people, again Saturday night. So
I'm just glad it's a Saturday and not a Sunday, so then I can actually make it into work on Monday morning.
Yes, you were a bit. You kept telling me, I've got work tomorrow. I've got work tomorrow, Connor. You said that about 5 times. You kept coming over, Connor, I've got work tomorrow.
I was like, I had my phone off and I was like, guys, work 13 hours. Guys, work 12 hours.
It was, yeah.
Can confirm, didn't make it in. I did ring in and say, I think I've got sunstroke. I don't think it's wise for me to be coming in, when, matter of fact, I woke up and I was probably still drunk.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing. Yeah, you don't want to see it. As I said, being a Saturday as well, be a bit. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's not going to be quite Sunday. I don't know. We'll see. Right, we can't let you both go because we got people waiting backstage to come on as well without asking for your player of the match and anything else you want to say on the game in terms of the day you had, anything you want to shout at, anything else. But more importantly, your player of the match on that one. As it doesn't have to be anyone on the poll. You can say whoever you want on this one.
Just has to be Lucia.
Yeah.
She's been amazing all season. And I just think she's gone a bit unnoticed.
Do you know who else I think's had a really good season? Millie Turner.
Yes.
I will sing her praises this season. I think she's just gone above and beyond this season, and she's really got herself stuck in at every game. And it's like she's always doing it with a smile on her face as well. Like, no matter what the score is, you just can see that she truly wants to play for the badge. I think that's what I think. I don't know.
Especially with as well. I think I hope this isn't harsh to Millie Turner, but I do think a lot of people, if you were looking at replacing one of the centre backs and upgrading, Millie was probably the one you're looking at. You know, out of Maya and Millie, Millie's probably the one that you would look at and go, that's probably where we can upgrade. But this season, I agree with you. She's probably going to get my player of the season vote. To be honest, I think she's been, and she was good in the final as well on this one. Rosa, before you go, phase out in your ear.
She didn't have anything to do. She touched the ball like 4 times. I mean, usually I would say her, but like, there's nothing to base it off. She had a great game. She did nothing wrong. Not that there was much to do wrong, but
It's interesting. Right near the end, she had a moment where she'd flopped down onto the ball, and instead of doing her usual sort of time waste where she just laid on it for a bit and having a look, she got straight up. Even she was sitting there going, "It's 4-0. They're not scoring today. We can just get rid of the ball. Ain't got to worry about it. Crack on." It was unreal.
It was. Do you know what the best Marriott? Just while we're talking about the best Marriott's moment was her interview actually, post that we could all hear because it was obviously around the ground.
That's actually the best thing ever.
That was you filmed it, didn't you? I'm sure it's on your Twitter.
Yeah, but you can just hear me in the background. You can't hear what she's saying.
I can confirm being behind Rosa when that interview was taking place. I didn't know what was going on because all I could hear was crying, like here, and then everyone was cheering. So I was a bit like, "What's going on?" And then obviously you realise, it's Rosa and she's crying over Mary Epps, and that's just the normal okay.
Faye, that's not true. I only filmed it after the game. Did I film every single thing she did after the game?
Melissa's being outed now as well.
Guys, I saw Martha Thomas. No, guys, I saw Martha Thomas yesterday, and it was the best day of my life. I'm going to show everyone the photo right now.
Here we go. It is a nice picture, to be fair. And to be fair, all the Spurs players were really good when they came.
Do you know what makes it even better? She came over and she, like, when they walked into like the private bit of Box Park that they had hired, I don't really know. She walked in, put her stuff down, and she walked back out, and then came and spoke to me. We got a photo, and she just asked like how I was, and like it was just so wholesome. And like, I think we all know that I will literally sing her praises until the end. Even in the grave, I'm getting buried in my United Martha shirt. That is happening.
There was a lot of love, to be fair, from ex-Reds yesterday. Just on that,
Yeah.
there was a lot of.
It was nice.
Players give it. Well, they've all been part of the journey, haven't they? When you think about it.
I suppose now feels like a good time to tell everybody that I did tell Grace Clinton she needed to come back next season.
I told Grace to come home.
She just turned around and laughed, didn't she?
She did turn around and laugh at me. Yes, that is a standard occurrence in my life.
She did that to me as well. I said, "Please come home." She went.
What's happening here? I can't work out if I've been done here or what. He's thrown out loads of stuff, but I don't know if he's talking about me, Ten Hag, if something else is happening. Oh, bald-headed Glazer. It's okay. He's talking about Avram Grant again. Okay.
Oh, I've just seen Faye's comment about Beth England's dancing.
Yes.
That is my highlight. Watching Beth in Box Park with the Spurs fans, the United fans, and just not caring. I've also seen on one of my friend's Snapchat stories when everyone got kicked out of Box Park, she's on the road playing basketball with everyone.
She was brilliant.
She was great, yes. Like just talking and dancing with everyone, and like even having a joke with all of us as well. Like there's not many people that would have just lost an FA Cup final, yet still is out enjoying themselves as much as she was, appreciating not only her fans but the fans of the team that had just won, if that makes sense, and not just being like you're a United fan or stuff like that. Like she's genuinely such a lovely person, and the fact that I don't know, I sing her praises. She was great yesterday. Like
I think the vast majority of Spurs players did that as well. I mean, you think about the fake trophy lift she were doing outside there as well. They took that in good part as well, which I think was nice to see.
Just before we do rotate, can I just make a public announcement to the? I don't know who it was. One of the Spurs players took my flag for like half an hour. All they said was, "We need to borrow this." Went up to the top, didn't see it for half an hour, and then she came back down and went, "Thanks, we just needed it for something." I was like, "What could you possibly need this flag for in the Spurs park up there with all the players?" I don't know who it was. I think it was. No, I don't know who I think it was. I don't want to out myself just because it wasn't. But it was one of the players anyway. But yeah, so that was a weird.
This is the bit where you realise they've used that to wipe down all the tables.
Do you know what? She's not going to be watching now because she's on the other channel. But this smells of alcohol because what did Polly do? Beer in my hand, flag in the other hand. Polly comes over, grabs the thing, knocks it all over me. flag.
At
So
least you
this-
got to take your flag home. I don't know where mine is. I think I left it in Box Park. I can't remember.
I didn't get a flag either.
So that's fine.
But Sean, the Brighton fan who was sat in the Spurs end, he got a flag. Some random person gave it to him, and he stood about with that forever. I don't begrudge him. He had to sit with the Spurs fans. Poor thing.
Hopefully they gave it to Martha Thomas so she comes back home.
We'll end it there. Maybe one day. But sorry, it's been short-lived. We do have to rotate guests again because what we've been doing, we're in 2 hours now. We do need to move on. Some of these people have been waiting for.
You're like we're doing comic relief. You know that one that used to go on for just hours. We get to about 2 o'clock and we're still going. What's the total, Connor? Oh, 7 guests we've had today, Barry. So we crack it. I can't wait.
Oh dear! But I'm sure you're both there on Saturday, aren't you? So I'm sure we'll see you about come Saturday.
Yeah, I'll bring my kazoo.
Yeah, you'll hear that before we see it. To be honest, have you got yours, Rosa, as well? I'm sure you. I don't know whether you're looking for it.
Do you want me to do a song recognition before we leave?
Go on. You can end your little section with this if you want.
Oh, I'm nervous. Okay.
I'm not going to lie, that's got big elements of Donald Duck. But is there any danger? Do you happen to know this one?
Oh, we're not doing this again.
Someone's got to do it.
I can't take it seriously.
Come on, Connor.
I can't take it seriously with the.
Oh, for God's
Not
sake,
getting me to
Connor.
sing on here. There's no chance. You'll have to get me. I said I'd do it after a few drinks. I'm not doing it on live.
Oh. Right, after last night, I lost all self-respect, so it's fine. It's all good.
There we go. Something new to the channel. See, we add things every week on this channel.
Top work, ladies. Well done.
Indeed.
And lovely to meet you yesterday, Melissa.
No, thank you both for coming on. I'm sure I will speak to you both later on. We're going to rotate probably for the final time this evening, so I'm going to bring them all on screen at once. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Rosa. We'll speak to you again soon. Here we go again. Right. Oh, hang on. I've not brought him in. It's just me and Barry. Hang on. Right. Who we got? Who was first waiting? So this guy has been waiting for probably about 35 minutes now, probably longer than that. And then here we go. We got two debutants coming now. I'm really excited for this. Oh, we got a blank screen, but it's fine as long as we can hear him. And here we go.
Hello.
There we go. We can hear him. Another debutant. Look at this, and I do believe that is High Lane that is usually in our chat.
Can you see me?
It is got HL. Hello.
Yes. Oh, we can
There
see
we go.
Simon as well. Now, there we go. Right. And we have got an actual editor-in-chief coming on as well, who I really wanted to get on, and I'm so glad that he's managed to make it. He looks like he's just come back from Barbados with that. Is that a shirt or something? I don't know. Either anyway, what an introduction, Andy. It's three. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It looked like a checked shirt from when I was like trying to look at you backstage. But anyway, there we are. Welcome, Andy. Thanks for coming on. What should we ask, Barry? Should we go moments again? Should we go around and see what everyone's thinking?
On the scale of 1 to 10, how disappointed are you with how Connor's managed to wriggle out of singing "We Are the Champions" here this evening? You can just use fingers for this one.
10.
I think we're all playing 10.
5 maybe.
Brilliant. I think just standout moments really are the one. I mean, you know, you all, I don't know if all of you were there physically in person. I know the vast majority of you were, but yeah, it was that one. What was your standout moments and the things that are going to stick with you, I suppose, in 20 years' time when you're sitting here and talking about it in the future? We'll kick it off with John Never, I suppose, as he's right next to me. We do like to go in circles. I don't know why.
I wasn't at Wembley, unfortunately, yesterday. I was at Old Trafford. So I was sort of worried that I might not be able to get to watch the final anywhere, but they did actually show the whole game in the concourse, which I was a bit surprised at. And there was actually a lot of people in there watching, and there was when the Tooney goal went in, there was a brilliant reaction. You could hear everybody cheering when that went in, and myself included, of course. And it was just fantastic to see us, finally get over the line. We finally got something to show for the hard work that we've done over the last few years. Just a relief that we managed to do it, and it was pretty much a stressful-free afternoon.
Really was, and a backdrop change as well, John Neville. This is quite a thing. So, you may not be a debutant, but that's the debut for that backdrop. Simon,
hello.
What about you, sir?
Just the game, the day, the whole thing. It was brilliant. Just sharing it with family. Getting a bit nervous towards half time. Tooney's goal completely got rid of those. So, and then it was just enjoyable. Missed the second and third goal in the water queue, but you could hear it from the concourse.
See, so I wasn't the only one that nearly missed the second goal. The queues were bad, to be fair.
Well, I nearly text you to say, what the hell are you doing? There's a football match going on here and you're still in the concourse waiting for Skittles or something. It's crazy. I don't know anything like it in my life. And Anthony, Mr. Highlane, lovely to get you. You are going to need to unmute yourself, but yes. What about you?
So unfortunately I wasn't at Wembley, so all these fun little stories that everyone's been talking about today, I unfortunately have none to relate on my own. But for me, there were two moments that stood out for me. The first, in terms of the game itself, was the Yellowtoon goal, because that first half had been so nervy. Obviously, we'd been missing a load of chances. They'd gotten in a couple of times, and then that was an absolute firecracker. She's been doing that a lot this season, and it's really good for her that she has gotten that goal-scoring mojo back, because I think that was definitely something, as good as last season was, that was something we were missing, kind of like that sort of magic from Tooney. And then the other one for me was just the scenes of them lifting the trophy, because I've not been following this team for that long. I only started following them towards the beginning of last season. So, but to see them sort of achieve that sort of big accomplishment, after 6 years, to see them lifting that trophy and finally getting that big thing that they can call their own, that did make me a little bit emotional. It does make me a little bit emotional watching it back.
And Slater, over to yourself. You've got obviously the same as obviously Mark and Shane. Obviously, we had on from follow this team for since the start. You've seen this team. So I'll ask you kind of the same question in terms of how does it compare to the championship season and just the emotions around yesterday.
I think thinking back to the championship season, it was towards the end of the season. It became a bit of a default thing. Your favourite word, there was no jeopardy. It was 5, 6, 7, 8-0 every week. So while it was an enjoyable season, there weren't the same emotions that you get from hoping to win. It's all expectation, and the points dropped against Durham were disappointing, and everything else was just 3 points, 3 points. Can we get 100 goals? Yes, we're going to get promoted. Oh, we're coming up against Spurs who are doing well. Are they going to be a challenge? No, they weren't a challenge. And then all the way to yesterday, they weren't a challenge again. I think my moment of yesterday was Toon's goal, not just because of how good it was, but like I think Simon and Anthony alluded to, the first half, it felt like we were on top without playing anything special. And you felt that if we don't take advantage of this soon, it's going to come back to bite us later in the game. So when that goal went in, it was, right, we have made it count. This game is ours now. And it wasn't a last-minute winner for it to be like, the clinching moment being the highlight. It was, I think you were talking earlier about when did it sink in? I think it sank in somewhere near the end of the second half. you got to the third goal and you knew that the win was coming. So I think that first goal was the kind of peak relief kind of thing that made you think, right, we're in. The complacency can go now. The league form can go. We're in this game. We're playing. But yeah, I think that for what was on show, what was on offer, the prize at the end of it is what sets this apart from that first season. Because yeah, we got a trophy for the championship, but when you start comparing honours in 20 years' time, we're not going to be counting championship trophy. We don't count the second division trophy for United when we compare titles. So while that was the first trophy for the team, this is the first major trophy that's going to go in the record books and create the history of Man United women in this iteration of the team.
I think that was it. Like you said, obviously, my word that I always like to use on here, jeopardy. There wasn't any. It was very much just like that. Literally, the second win, and I was just like, we've won it now. Then I said to Jess next, but they're not scoring 3. Like they didn't even look like scoring 1, let alone 3. So I was like, at that moment, it's just very much just like Becky's saying there. It just felt so at ease. Like you compare it to the semi-final, we were all on edge, like, trying to defend a 1-goal lead for as long as we did in that second half. Whereas this one, it was like, oh, like this is a bit. And I think someone said this in the comments earlier on. It just felt like a bit of a party. Then it was like we can just relax and enjoy this. I can't lie, it dragged a little bit because the sun was really starting to work. My arm was starting to sting actually because it was starting to burn my arm with how hot it was on my arm. So I was a bit like, I don't know whether just to go wait in the concourse till like 90 minutes and I'll come back out. But
this is the thing. You kept saying that Charlie was turning around, and I was turning around a lot as well. But that's because I was trying to do my very best rotisserie chicken because I didn't just want to be red on one side of my face. But if it was going to go wrong, I might as well do the back as well because it's just relentless.
It was quite something. I'll go around the house again, and so John, start with yourself and Simon, and Andy following on. Just, I guess, the importance of actually winning this, and do you think this can? They spoke about this on commentary after the game a lot. That this might kick United on for next season. WSL, obviously, we've only got the 3 trophies. We're not going to be in the Champions League again. So we've got the 3 trophies to fight for next season. Do you think this maybe has been a bit of a mental block for us, potentially? Or do you think that, in the grand scheme of things, maybe it hasn't made any difference mentally? Or I guess just the importance of getting that first one over the line? I think someone made it, I think Michael just said it, rival fans like to laugh at us all the time saying, oh, trophyless, you're not a big club or anything else. Well, they can't say that now because we've got that one in the cabinet.
Yeah, I think it was like I said earlier, it was a bit of a relief to finally get get that trophy in the cabinet, and hopefully it'll be a springboard for us to from now on that we can we know we can do it now in these big games. So hopefully we'll be able to kick on now, and hopefully next season we'll no reason to say why we can't get to the cup final again, and hopefully, challenging for the league next year as well at the same time.
Yeah, I think yesterday's a good springboard. Obviously, the Chelsea game was massive. I know obviously we've had the tail off the last few results in between the games, but I think that Chelsea game, then going on and winning this final, that there's no reason why next season it can't be better than what it has been this year. And fingers crossed, the confidence and the mentality just keeps growing. Depends on players coming in, players going out, but there's no reason why the solid foundations. Obviously, with Mayer signing a contract, it's a good solid foundation to start building on and start improving. Really.
I think it sort of depends really, because it depends what mindset the team kind of has going into the season really. Because I think it's obvious that the mentality, there's a mentality shift definitely between when they're playing in the league versus when they've been playing in the cups. Because league for the longest time, it's looked like they've almost checked out, especially since the semi-final. It does look like to a degree they've checked out a little bit. Whereas in the cups, we've just been turning it on and sort of cranking up to where we think, oh, this looks like how we were playing last season a little bit. But I think now that we've got that trophy sort of in the bag, they now see, oh yeah, we can actually challenge for this stuff. On the way there, we've beaten the one team we hadn't beaten before this. So yeah, there's no reason why they can't do it. It's just a case of can they do it? Like, do they have the mentality to continue doing it? And I think, like the guys before have alluded to, that's going to depend on, first off, what happens over the summer. Obviously, who comes in, who goes out, what happens behind the scenes. But yeah, there's potential there for the future.
Yeah, I think Man United win trophies all through history, and to be living up to that now is a big step of, you know, being Manchester United. We've got over the line. We were so close last season on two fronts, so it's important to get over the line on something this time round. Whether that transfers into the league, there is so much that's got to change. There's so much that it depends on. Last season, we had the mentality to do it game by game. Chelsea were just too good. This season, on paper, I think our squad's better, but there's obviously a lot going wrong off the pitch for the on the pitch performances to be as they've been. At the beginning of the season, you're thinking, yeah, as long as we're performing the Champions League qualifiers, I'll take a draw in this game. That draw against Arsenal felt disappointing, but you think, yeah, if we perform in the Champions League qualifiers, I'll take that. I don't mind losing a bit of pace to get into those group stages. And then we got dumped out by a quality team and a dreadful refereeing decision. And then you think, right, let's focus. Let's get that mentality back. Let's play game by game and win these games. Let's, you know, make every game matter again. Because that's what it felt like last season. Every single game that we weren't winning in the last 10 minutes, it was tense. It wasn't a, well, 2 points dropped. We're in the top three anyway. We weren't expecting to win the league. It was, come on, this is it. And it mattered every single time. And that's what it needs to get back to, that mentality. And wherever that came from, whether it's Martin Hall, whether it's looking at Honor Batcher at right back and one of the best fullbacks in the world who's also a quality attacker, whether it's, you know, the relationship between Toon and Russo that disappeared, but whatever it was, it's got to be found again. And that's got to be the difference. So getting the trophy, yes, it's a huge step. It gets us on the board. We have got over the line. We know we can do it now. But a league season's a completely different task. You know, getting up for, 4 or 5 games you win to win the FA Cup. Mm-hmm. You know, the fact that we beat Chelsea to get there is a huge thing. But it's a completely different task to be consistent over a league season and get that mentality back. And winning the trophy won't cause that to happen. It'll hopefully add to some mentality, but there's got to be a whole lot of other things going right behind the scenes, on the pitch, everywhere to take that step. And that's the challenge. It's a huge challenge. But hopefully the people whoever the people are that'll be involved in it are up for it.
I mean, hopefully, like you say, the people that are involved in it, including the players, that will hopefully really G them up and get them to stay and be here a bit longer and want to commit to the cause and everything. But I mean, like, we're 6 years old. You know, most 6-year-olds have just started school and are just, learning how to do their phonics, and we were in FA Cups, so it's not bad, really.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and I think it was you, Simon, I spoke to after Liverpool, and I kind of said that, I was so worried because, like, the way we were playing, at the time, and Anthony's mentioned that the mentality shift between the Cups and the league, like, I was incredibly worried, like, going into this one, that like what are we doing? We're playing so poor, in like, if we play like that in the final, which obviously we didn't, that we wouldn't get over the line. So I think getting that one, I think Rachel Williams actually spoke about this in her interview with the BBC when she said it, we're not going to kid ourselves. This isn't going to just play over the crack, so to speak. So they know that, as good as this is, it has still been a poor season. She referenced that in her interview. So yeah, the reason why you may have seen me waving my flag a little bit, that was just to show you I'm fine. I can still do that. I was doing most of yesterday evening. Still going. I might do a TikTok live after this. Why not?
Williams also mentioned that she said we go again next season. So it sounds as if she might possibly be hanging around another season herself.
It sounded like that, didn't it? And it sounded like it sounds like Mark's confident as well, because his interview was something like he said a lot. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he said something almost like that he knows he's here next season.
He knows what's coming, and it's an exciting time to be a fan of this club.
That's it. Yeah, it was something like or that exact line. I can't remember, but yeah, but yeah, Barry, you're right to point out Williams as well. It does seem like, I hope so. To be fair, I've got no issue with that. If she wants to stay another year, she can stay another year. She can have a statue for all I care. That's Rachel Williams. Why not?
And Mark's going to say he knows what's coming. That's because Mark Henry had texted him to let him know that Connor was doing the live burger eating at Old Trafford. So apparently they're all going to watch it on a big screen.
Yeah, so we see, and I think this is going to be a big thing. Actually, Lucky's talking about that we're ready to push proper investment. I think we'll see now. The team's won something. We've got to go and kick on. I don't want this to be like a one hit wonder. We win the FA Cup and then for the next 4 or 5 seasons we're like 4th, 5th, not getting to the final, because that's what's going to be really tough. I don't know about any of you guys, but like we've been to 2 finals now back to back. It's almost like we want to be about every year now. Like Wembley's just become, like, for me anyway, obviously because 2 in 12 months, it's like the norm. Like going to Wembley for the women's team for me, because like the years I've been following, I've gone to Wembley twice in the 3 years I've been going. So it's like we have to get back there next year now because I want that day out again. And like the Conti final, if we won the Conti Cup, that's fine. But it's not Wembley, is it? Like I don't know where the Conti final is going to be next year, but like this year it was in Wolverhampton. Like it's not quite Wembley, is it? Going down to see that one and see the trophy there. So yeah. Why is everyone talking? What's going on here? They put on my screen. I need to sort my ticket out for Old Trafford, actually. I need that. I can't believe this. Someone tweeted this, actually. Is it 800,000 across the whole tournament? I think it's about 860,000 from the whole run. I think it's about 100,000 just for the final, I think, or 200,000 for the final, something like that. Someone's tweeted it today, but I can't remember who it was, so I can't find that tweet for you.
Yeah, I read 800,000, 800 and something thousand for the whole run, like you just said. I've read the same.
Yeah, it's definitely 800,000 for the run. I just can't remember what it was for the final. I can't believe, Mike, you've gone down that road. No, we're nothing like them.
I can confirm that for the final, the winning club got £430,000.
There we go. Yeah, and 814 for the run. There we go. Yeah, were any of you in work today? Just out of interest, there's a really random question, but did any of you have to go back to work today?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Was it everyone? Oh, just me then. That wasn't. That's fair enough. Just me then. There we go. What's Ian saying? They can use some of them to pay me to stay out of the future bigger. I can't believe you missed it, Ian. Of all the games that you've been to over the years and everything else, I am gutted for you, to be fair. I'm gutted for everyone who couldn't get there, that is either usually there or just couldn't get there for other reasons as well. Look, I stopped then because it looked like, Barry, you were going to say something.
I was still counting. It was about £870,000 is how much the winning club would win.
There we go.
Round.
We're being atted in here. Sorry, I always get worried when I get atted in something. Anyway, right, we'll run through all your player of the match then as well and end off on your kind of, I guess, anything else you want to round off with. But we'll start with player of the match because we will end the poll in just a second. John, who would you have gone for?
I gave it to Garcia as well, as I think most people did. She just ran them ragged certainly in the second half. They couldn't cope with her, and two goals. You can't really say any better than that. I mean, Toon probably would have just about as deserving of it with the goal, but I think Garcia for her endeavour was the reason why I gave it to her. Just on the being at Old Trafford, everybody I think saw the deluge at the end of the game. It was something that I'd not seen weather like in this country, but I was just so happy with the women's result that I didn't care that I got absolutely soaking wet through running back to the car at the end of the men's game.
She said that looked horrendous, didn't it? Obviously, just seeing the videos of Old Trafford, it's just Yeah, it doesn't even look like a stadium when it's full life. Well, people know.
It genuinely looks like a disaster movie. Like it's flooded like that.
Yeah.
Or again, like the Titanic. Just like the water's coming in and the whole place is going to go. It's scary.
Which kind of suits the men's season, to be fair.
It
Quite
does.
apt.
It really does.
Oh, Simon, who would you have gone for?
In the chat, I voted for Zal. I thought her balls to players, crosses, corners, set pieces, everything was on point. You know, she was bossing the midfield completely. Obviously, Garcia was everywhere as well, running legs off. Again, Jade was another one that could have had it. You know,
Jade's a shout, actually. We've not had many Jade shouts.
No, I'm going to say she did well. She rode a few of the challenges that were a bit naughty, but, you know, everyone's just giving her a good kick. As normal, I think that's what she seems to be taking most games. But no, I'm going to say Zal was my choice. Garcia was up there as well. 2 goals, both well taken. I'm going to say she pressed, putting on the press for the 3rd goal. So
you got to be there. You got to be there to do it.
This is it.
So everyone says that. Obviously, everyone's talking about the goalkeeping. It is a big error, but Garcia's got to be the one pressing it. You know, otherwise it's not an error, then, is it? So fair play to her for chasing that down. Who would you have gone for, Anthony?
I've got to agree with you with most people. I'm going to say Garcia as well. I think in terms of like all of our forwards, Garcia is probably the one that's maintained the most, I suppose, consistency across the season. Obviously, you know what you're getting. Whether you've got that run and then you've got that pressing, you've just got that sort of like really good work ethic. Whereas others may be kind of like dip in terms of consistency every now and again. But yesterday, like absolutely fantastic. And it's like you said with the goals, especially the 3rd one. Obviously, it's a horrible mistake, and you feel for the player. But at the end of the day, that's your job as a footballer. You've got to capitalize on that, and she did. So. Yeah, you can't say too much on that. It's going to be such a shame if she does leave in the summer because we're going to be losing a lot with that. So if that is, you know, if she is going, then what a way to go out. Okay?
Yeah, I think I will give a shout out to Zellum, like Simon mentioned, but my pick is Garcia as well. And it's for more than just the game yesterday, but I think in general with Garcia, there are better individuals, but the impact she has on the team is much bigger than most other players, and it's that energy she brings. And like you say, she's got to be in the right place at the right time to pounce on that ball. It's positive football, it's positive running. It's not giving up on seemingly lost balls. I think that's the difference. It's that positivity that is infectious and lifts the rest of the team when Garcia's on the pitch.
No, I think that's fair enough. I did end the poll just a bit earlier. Garcia did win it on 69%, which is one of our biggest margins. I am coming to you, Barry, for yours as well in a second. But yeah, I wanted to get this out of the way first before I lose it in the chat. Garcia 69%, 2 and 16, Zell 8, and Riviere 5, which does now mean, just while we're on that, if Garcia gets player of the match against Chelsea on the final game of the season, her and Toon will be dead level from ours. So Toon is on 5 if you player of the matches, Garcia is on 4, and then there's about 5 or 6 players that are on 3. So only Garcia can match Toon for this season if she gets it on the final day. But don't let that sway your votes on the final day. I don't want to like rig things now just to get Garcia in the poll. Barry, would you have gone for Garcia? Would you have gone with a crowd on this one? Or I think pretty much everyone we've had on has said Garcia.
I'm a bit worried about what we'll do if it is a draw, because I don't know how can I do a tie break for that one. That'd be a tricky one. We'll have to work on that. Listen, I think Garcia is the obvious choice. Her energy was awesome throughout the first half and the second, and like you say, to get the goals was brilliant. But there were people you could have shouted out. Katie Zellum obviously has been mentioned. I called out her set pieces a few weeks ago and said that they've not quite been at the level I've expected from Katie. It's nice to see that she went off to Carrington, having listened to that little worm, did some work. And, well, hey, Katie Zellum's back. You're welcome. After that as well, though, I think you could look at Lisa Nilsson, a couple of assists today. I think every single player on that pitch had a reasonable shout to be called the player of the match, just purely because they put in just an unbelievable shift. So I think it has to be. But emotionally, if I was going for an emotional player of the match, I would actually choose Rachel Williams, just purely because what a player. And if you had to name one person who deserves a goal at Wembley of that significance, I think I would have gone for her. But it's Lucia Garcia, isn't it? It was just unbelievable, and it just put the game out of sight. Her 2 goals, so superb.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think I said it in the ground that, I would have said Selin because I think she was controlling the midfield. I think, she was putting the tackles in. As I said earlier on the show, she was putting, even when we were 4-0 up, putting balls over the top and trying to create even more things, which, is something that has been labelled at her as criticism throughout the season. Well, I think Garcia is a fair shot. You don't score 2 goals in the cup final and not get player of the match. So I think Garcia is probably the right shout on that one, and I think someone's referenced it in the chat. If that is the way she's going to bow out, and leave in the summer, she'll go down in United's small history so far already as being she got the player of the match on the day in the ground as well, so she'll be a part of that history for sure. On that one, right. Slater,
she also did her very own. She also did her very own TikTok video in the interview with the BBC. Because they asked her a question, she gave the answer, and literally went around and said the exact same thing again to answer the question. It was absolutely hilarious, but I loved it. Sorry.
She is a funny one, old Garcia, on that one. To be fair, any of the videos from yesterday is worth watching on that one. Right, we can't let this wrap up before coming to you, Slater, because obviously it's final game of the season coming up. On this one. So is there going to be any more Barney articles available this Saturday? I don't know if you're going. I'm assuming you are.
I am going, but there won't be a new one. Bringing a new one out for the last game is always trouble because there's only that one game to sell it at and it doesn't quite hit the numbers. But I will hopefully be around at some point with issue 14. But there was a digital issue, special edition for the cup final. There wouldn't have been enough time to get the print turnaround done or be confident of selling enough. So it was a digital, it's free to read. There's a link on my Twitter feed somewhere around. But people have expressed interest in buying a physical copy. So I will be sending some communications around through the Substack or on Twitter, or I'll try and get it to reach as many people as possible. And if enough people are interested, if I have to print only 25, it'll be £4. If I do a print run of 50, it'll be £3. If I do the usual print run of 100, it'll be £2 each. So I will be looking for feedback on who would buy one, and then I know how many to print, and then we all get a nice little collector's item from the cup final. And there will be new material in it as well. There's 22 pages on the digital version, but printed versions have to be a multiple of 4 pages. So there will be an extra 2-page reaction to the cup final in there as well. Just so you get something for your money after it being free online.
Look at that.
Spoiling us now. Look at that. We win the FA Cup and then you get one of these.
It would look a bit crap being 2 blank pages, wouldn't it, just to make up the numbers for the print?
Maybe you could just put the 2 pictures that Barry's put on screen. Just put that in there.
Well, honestly, that face, it just it might be one of my photos all the time.
You know what though, Connor, if we're going slightly off topic as far as cup final goes, if you've had a suggestion of what could go on it, I wonder what Barry might suggest we put on it, because I think there is another event coming up, isn't there, that might deserve some coverage. How does he not know? He looks confused. A write-up from some top journalist who we can get to cover Connor's performance and subsequent dining experience.
No, that doesn't need to be in print. It's going to be bad enough on video format, let alone anywhere else.
We always say the videos get watched and then they drop down the list, but the print survives in print forever.
No.
Oh, there's a few votes coming in.
Do you know what, though? I can't believe it. I guess I'll round the show on it, but I can't. Well, not this in particular, but I can't believe how much. When did this get brought? This got brought up in the pre-season of not this season, the season before, so 22-23 season. The pre-season, it was a watch-along. Me, Barry, Mark, and Deb did. Is when Burgergate started all those years, well, about 18 months or so ago, whenever it was. So it's been going for a while. But yeah, it's part of the brand now, isn't it? Can't get rid of it. So,
you love it. You love it. You needed some kind of hook. You wouldn't have the success that you've had without that hook. It's not the quality of the journalism, it's that hook. It's quality of Barry's journalism, but you needed the quiff and the hook.
Oh, don't. She's not here anymore. Obviously, Cerys, who was on the start of the show, right? So this is how far these things travel. Cerys' dad, who, sorry if you're watching this, by the way, I'm going to complete you out here, who I'd never, no, I think I'd met once before, literally bought, when he bought Cerys, the family, the cup final tickets, sent them to Cerys, said, we're in the same block as Connor, so we should be able to see his quiff over there. Genuine. Literally nothing about the ticket, nothing about the game. Yeah, we can see Connor's quiff. Like, well, okay. that's the thing. Someone came up to me though in Box Park yesterday, and this is one of the people that I was just like, yeah, this is really unprofessional, Connor. Like, don't film me or anything else. I don't want this going out on the web. That sounds so old when I say that, but she genuinely came up to me and was like, your quiff isn't as tall as it is on camera. So that's fair.
Well, we all know that the camera adds the same for hair.
So that was I quite like that. Anyway, oh god, can you imagine? People will though. Barry would.
I'm not being funny. The merch opportunities that we've got here now, Connor, are unbelievable. Like we could get, the sort of gel hat type things with the quiff. They can have one of those for you.
Oh, I mean, you know what's like? I'm surprising. I'm going to say this. Like the whole thing with the burger, knife, and fork. Burger with the pitchfork.
Imagine that.
There we go.
I think if you did do one of those like headgear that looks like the quiff, you could have a little knife and fork pocket in it.
Yes. And there are rumours now going about that when Connor combs his quiff, he actually does use a fork for it over a knife.
He does always have one to hand.
Oh, Jake also. I'm assuming this was you. There was definitely a Jake that came up to me yesterday, so I'm going to assume this was you. You also said this. I'm sure you did when you came up to me after the game. I really hope that's you because there was definitely a Jake that came up to me at full time, and you did say you hadn't commented for a while, so I'm assuming it was you. But yeah, I'm sure you said it as well. So two people said that to me yesterday. It's not as tall as I thought it was going to be.
Just looking at NT's comment there that the quiff is more well known than the person it sits on. Maybe it's like the mask. It's a different person every time, but whoever puts the quiff on becomes Connor. It just accentuates the
Twitter account should have been ready to go. That was my fault, but we were going to call it Quiff Richard, remember? But I just feel like there's got to be more. There's got to be another one. I'm just waiting for the one because the real Cliff Richard might get a little bit upset about that. So, got to think of a new one.
I can't believe this, NT. Never meet you here. No, it was nice to meet you, Jake, anyway, post game. It was good that we were talking about a win rather than a loss on that one. Yes, he was, as Barry's explained there, the reasons for not doing it on that one. Right, we are going to have to round this one off because I am starting to flag a little bit now. You know me, though, Barry. I'll be honest.
You've been flagging all night.
But before we do, there was a couple of questions. This is a very short answer because I genuinely don't know. I don't want to put it down. Galton has been up to Galton injury. She was in the boot, wasn't she? And she was obviously on crutches, limping around.
She's in the boot?
Yeah.
Could they not let her have a seat? Playing a FA Cup final, get shoved in a boot.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't look great anyway. Whatever has happened to her. I didn't see what happened, but she went off obviously quite quick after half time. So didn't look a great one for her.
To do with when she had that chance in the first minute or two when she collided with Spencer. It must have been some aftermath of that, I presume.
Yeah, I think it was because I don't think she looked right for the rest of the half, did she? And I remember, when at half time, Mallard was on the sideline ready to come on. She was fully like kitted out, and I'm guessing the idea was that it was mooted whether or not to make that sub instantly, or whether they decided to tell Leah, carry on for as long as you can, and then we'll make the change. But obviously, she didn't last that much longer because Mallard came on pretty quickly.
It was a nasty occasion when you watch it back, isn't it? You know, at the time, I mean, to be fair, it looked bad in the ground, but yeah, I didn't realise that, Shane, to be fair. But as I said, like, you guys know me, I complained about being tired. I'll probably go and do a TikTok live after this, just so we've got something over there and whatever else.
If I had a fiver for every time, I'm going to get an early night tonight, it will tell me about 10 o'clock. I'm going to make sure I get to bed nice and early. And then you look, when you wake up in the morning, last on 1:15 in the morning. Just, honestly, time and Connor just do not go together.
Who's in charge of displaying the comments here? Because get Kean's on.
I was just about to bring that up. That is brilliant.
A lot of these puns get repeated, which isn't a bad thing because it's worth hearing again. But that's one I've not heard before.
Absolutely.
I do like that. This stream has been, yes, it has. I tweeted it was going to be about 2 hours because that's what we kind of budgeted for. But I said to Barry before we did this, I wanted this to be one of the best and longest shows that we've done, and it certainly has eclipsed that. We've hit record numbers, it's record likes, we've had debutants, we've had as many people on as we've ever had before, and it's now our longest. This is now eclipsing watch along, kind of.
But also the world would also know that ordinarily at 8:30, so an hour and 15 minutes ago, we'd have had to have cut off to go over to All Women's Football, where we then had to be serious and neutral. And we'd spoken about it for the whole weekend, but it was a very clear point for both of us that we didn't want to go onto that channel and cut this short, because this is and should be one of the greatest days that we will ever experience and have ever experienced, and hopefully there's many more of them to come again as well. But actually to do that, and the whole purpose, the whole journey, I'd said a little bit earlier about how it was nice to spend that time with Connor and Andrew and Slater and all of these people, especially the AFU originals that I spent time with, Charlie and Jess as well. And actually to be in this situation now, which we've been in tonight, so many of you, I mean, it's still 2 hours and 41 minutes into it, and we've got 57 people watching, and for almost 90 minutes we're at over 100 people. It has been awesome just to spend this time with you all and get you all in. The whole purpose of Wolf United has always been to be heard, and I hope that everybody right now is feeling massively heard from the rooftops as we sit here and shout out to the world that Manchester United are the FA Cup winners for 2024. And it couldn't be any better than that. It could not be any better than that.
Or could it? Could it?
That's a cliffhanger right there.
What if?
It will be next week. Next week when we have the video of Connor eating a burger.
Connor's saying he needs to go because he needs an early night, but he also knows he's going to get straight onto TikTok. What if Connor posted a TikTok while live on AFU? Go on. Record one now.
What, you want to record one right now?
Yeah, go on. Go do a TikTok live on a.
Hang on.
And then
you can go on YouTube live.
You guys in it as well?
Hang on, whatever you want. With all of us watching you.
Let me close some of my other tabs down as well, because I don't want them seeing all my other tabs that I've got open. Not that there's anything dodgy on there. I will just say that. It's all like.
I was just grabbing everybody. Now we've got. Let me just close my tabs down.
This way, you can TikTok all your boxes and go straight to bed.
Hang on. I don't know whether I can flip the camera. Right, hang on. Okay. What I'll do, I'm going to film a little intro thing, then I'm going to flip the camera. So you lot in the comments as well are going to be in this, because I'm literally going to put this on you guys. Apologies. If you guys don't want to be on TikTok, by the way, turn your camera off. Because I'm a freak of shit. I'm just going to just put you out to the nation here. Oh, there we go. I thought there might be one of you. But there we go.
Funny if we all did it and just left Connor there.
I don't know what to say, actually. What am I going to say?
Is this what you usually start your TikTok lives with?
No, I'm trying to think what to say here. I don't know.
Struggles under pressure.
So I'm trying to think what
he is feeling the pressure, isn't he?
I am. Right, no, I know what I'm going to say. Right, there we have it. We have just finished, or are about to finish, nearly 3 hours of content for you on this channel. Would you believe it? I'm going to flip the camera around in a second. These amazing people have just ended off the show for us. 3 hours of this one. Have a look at this. Look at these people that we've got on here. Right, now I'm going to flip you around, and I'm going to put you on. There we go. Look at these people. There we go. There's still people. We're still live. Nearly 3 hours. We've got Simon, John, Anthony, Slater, Barry, you may see. And look at these people in the comments as well that are now outed to the nations. Look at that. With Michael, Donna, people that literally are probably going to be replying to the TikTok. But there we go. It's been an amazing show. Thank you, everyone, for coming on. I might just end the stream with, no, I won't actually. I'm going to say something else to the YouTube audience. So go and hop over to YouTube to find out what I'm just about to say. But yeah, Slater wanted to do a quick TikTok. So there we go. Bit of inception for you as well, because I'm kind of filming myself, looking at myself through my phone on the camera that's looking back at me on the laptop. This is really bizarre. Anyway, there we go. Right, that's the TikTok done. That'll be out in just a second. So all of you in the comments, you can go and find that one.
I can see myself looking through the camera through there, looking back at me. Honestly, that was
well, that's what I was. I was looking through my phone that's filming the screen that is got the camera on me. So there we go. But yes, that will go up in just a second. Anyway, right, we will wrap it up there. As I said, this has been one hell of a show. Absolutely brilliant. I could not wait for this yesterday when we won the FA. I'm not singing it, Barry. The moment was yesterday, and it wasn't today. But I do just want to end off with saying, on a serious note, so I'm going to take this off screen because I do want to, on a serious point. I did say this earlier. As I said yesterday, from an All for United point of view, I'm going to put it from a personal level again. Was an incredible thing because obviously I said it was the first time all of us from this channel's point of view was there. So that was a special moment for myself personally and from the channel's point of view. As I said, record numbers tonight watching and everything else. This season has been incredible. We've still got one game left, so we've still got one more preview, one more review to do before we head into transfer season and pre-season and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just feel like everyone in the chat, everyone who's on screen at the moment that's been on today has deserved this moment because, as we know as a channel, this has been really hard to do. I can't lie this season. You know, it's been so negative, and rightfully so. We've not been great in a lot of the season, but it has been tough to do. So I'm glad. You know, we always said we wanted this show just to be the most positive, best show that we could possibly do. So I hope we've brought you that. We've had lots of debutants and all kinds of things on. So yes, I'm glad that it's the show and the day that we all wanted, yesterday and today. What's next? What do we do next? Well, I might go and do a TikTok live in just a second. I don't know if I can be bothered. That sounds really bad. Anyway, we'll be back later in the week for a preview, obviously, of Chelsea as we look ahead to the final game of the season. Really no relevance on it, but we want to try and beat Chelsea, don't we? Just to end off the season one more time and send Emma Hayes packing to America with no trophies. That would be quite something as we parade the FA Cup around in front of her on Saturday, which I believe is happening now. I think the FA Cup is in attendance. I think did everyone get a text from United today saying that the FA Cup's going to be there on Saturday? I know
trying to sell us tickets.
Yeah. So that's going to be happening on Saturday. So all things to look forward to. As I go and follow the TikTok, the Instagram, and all those kind of things. The TikTok is the place if you want to see all of our match day stuff. We upload it all to there now. Right? We still upload a few things to Twitter, but a lot of it goes to TikTok nowadays, just because it's just easier to upload to there. So yeah, go and follow all of those. Follow these people. Obviously, Slater has shouted out the Barmy article. Make sure you go and check that out. It's definitely worth having. I was going to hold it. Oh, I have. I've got a cough. I've got an issue that I can hold up.
You finally bought a couple.
Yeah. Oh, no, hang on. That's the wrong way around. That's the right way around. There we go. There's a couple for you to show you what they kind of look like in the flesh. I've got a stack of them there. That's why the ones that I've brought off you. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. We've gained so many in the last kind of. I'm not gonna say a target. I'll wait till the end of the season. And yes, enjoy the rest of your evenings. Celebrate for the rest of the week. Don't let this feeling die down because, yes, not often we get this feeling again. So have a good evening all. Thanks, everyone, for coming on. And we'll just see you guys later in the week.